We good? Y'all ready? Let's get into it then. Welcome back to another episode of StoppageTime TV. We're live and direct, live in the flesh. You already know what time it is. Got F. Kadani with me. Got Culture Cams.
Can't see me. You can't see. I'm feeling like John Cena today.
No, John Cena's
Can't see me.
John Cena supports my club. He's in my box.
Say it out.
Yeah, him and Bowley. That's who's advising Bowley on transfers. John Cena and that.
Mimosa Maze, you know.
Come on, man. He's in my box. But obviously, you already know what time it is. We're back. Another episode, another big match weekend. It's only right that we're here to get into it. Before we go any further, though, there's a lot of you in here. Shout out all of you. Go and retweet. Go and let people know that we're going live. Like, share, subscribe, notifications on. Follow us on Twitter personally as well. You already know what to do. This one's going to be a funny one, man. Listen. But as you know, if you're new around here, we have a little tradition, the game of football, there can only be one winner. Sometimes, there's a draw, but there can only be one winner, well and truly. And when you win, it's a big occasion. I mean, you get 3 points. Mm-hmm. And for me personally, 3 points have been hard to come by in the last few weeks. So, wherever you're on the world, north, south, east or west, all over the world. Hold tight, the 3-point collectors.
Yo!
You did it.
This is getting all too familiar for me now. I've been clapping for weeks. It's getting too familiar.
So, if you participated, you did your half. Not everyone can win. That's just how it goes. So hold tight the participants as well. There's no bias in football. You get me? You have to turn up. So hold tight the participants. But this was derby weekend. Derbies everywhere. Big derbies. The two biggest derbies in English football. The Manchester derby. The North London derby. And we happen to have two representatives from the 4 clubs that were there.
I don't know for how much longer, but sorry.
There's not another team in North London that can represent you guys in that game. So, but I mean, we'll start with you guys because you guys, your game just finished, didn't it? So, home game for you guys, Super Sunday. The rain in the stars. Change it now.
Come here, miles away.
Listen to the rain.
That's a classic. That's a
Seasons come and go, but I will never change.
The Golden Lion.
Why wasn't Hugo Lloris pumping that in the change room? Why wasn't he ready for Super Sunday? Super Sunday. Derby game. The morale was down. Chelsea signed Mudryk. Heads are gone. They're screaming at Edu. Mikel, why can't you identify someone else? Their heads are rattled. They're there for the taking. And nothing. And talk to me what happened.
Typical Spurs, bruv, happened. Like, let's keep it a buck, man. This is, I think what you said there as well. Draw to Newcastle midweek. Obviously the Mudryk drama that happened yesterday. This week,
Bowley, send the money. Yes, Bowley. That's how we do. Hijack boys. We send the money to anyone. Yes.
Technical difficulties.
Yes. Send money internationally.
And now we resume back to the normal show.
Yes, Bowley. Yes.
But now, all week, looking at Arsenal's season, I was thinking this is probably the first North London derby where I'll go into, even at home, considering it's pretty much a foregone conclusion with these two teams. Arsenal play at home, they win. We play at home, we win. This is the first time where I was like, you know what, they might actually be a problem because earlier in the season how they dealt with us, but then also I've seen them go all the London grounds now away, which were previously tough fixtures for them. They went and grinded through pretty much all the big teams they've played this season. They've put on a performance, except United, but even though they lost, they played their part. I was like, you know what, this might actually be the one where we draw. Worst case scenario, I said, we might not win, but I'll take a draw. When I see shit like that from Lloris, there's no excuse and no amount of game planning you can do, no amount of tactics you can set up. And we'll get into the tactics in a minute. But I've been saying with Lloris, this guy should have been replaced 2 to 3 years ago. On this podcast, I've said it when we were starting. I said, this guy is gone now.
That's an early stoppage shout for the...
And people are like, nah, look what he's done for years of service. And I've said, bro, there's moments that lapses, and I always say it happens January, February. I don't know what it is. Key point of the season as well. Near post. You're a World Cup winning goalkeeper. Just come back from a final.
Mbappe tried to give him 2, you know.
Lord.
God said, no.
Football God had to say, listen.
plans for you.
One is enough. So for me, it's unforgivable, that kind of mistake. And then the second goal, I give him their dues. That's them kind of goals you just don't stop. And I think Partey give a warning shot as well just before that,
Off his
where he
shin.
rattled the bar.
Off his shin.
And for me, it just, that whole first half an hour for me, I've said every North London derby, you can look at it, the game is pretty much decided within the first half an hour. You don't turn up at home in a North London derby, it's over. The way this team has been inconsistent, for some reason lacking any kind of gusto for the last couple of weeks, you're thinking this is the exact type of game you want to turn up on. As you said, draw midweek, Mudryk drama, maybe catch them on their off day. They're on a high, but we can catch them in a low moment. And imagine we add the salt to the wounds. Arsenal said, nah, brother, we're going to show you why we're top of the league. So listen, we got to hold that. And in our own ground as well, you got to look at individuals throughout this team. So I thought Kane, fair play, he actually tried today. Kulusevski tried to do his thing. My man on that left, I've spoken enough.
Hey, do us a favour. Do us a favour. You're talking about my man on the left. Do us a favour, lad. Stand up for a second. Stand up and turn around for a little second. I just want to see that.
We are not doing that.
Stand up. Stand up.
No. That I
Hey,
refuse.
People in
I
the comments.
refuse.
People in the comments. Tell him to stand up
I
and
refuse.
turn around.
I refuse.
Send in
Stand up.
super chats.
I refuse.
Send in super chats.
I
Stand
refuse.
up and turn around.
This was this is a clerical
before you say-
error.
before you
Yeah? A clerical error that I don't even want to bait out the company because I'm like, hey,
Wait, if we get
I might go schizo.
if we get £50 in super chats, will you show it?
If we get £50 in super chat, I'll show it. If we get £50 in super chat, I'll show it.
I'm trying to see
I'll tell a story. Because my God, but stop deviating from this performance, bro. This was a fucking
Stand up.
disgraceful.
Stand up!
Bro, yo, man. Stand up.
But nah, all in all, disgraceful performance, and it's like individual errors costing you again. And Conte, I'm sorry, but if you didn't see in the first North London derby that this 3-4-3 formation, you got completely drowned out in midfield, completely bossed. Every time Arsenal got the ball, they had a spare man. Arsenal dominate possession. The last thing they need is a spare man in that midfield. Højbjerg and my man in midfield, Pape Sarr, left in acres of space today for nothing. And it's like, at what point are you gonna switch it up? At what point are you gonna change it? It's like 75th minute, he started introducing subs. I'm like, it don't make sense. But Conte got it wrong today. Players didn't fucking turn up. We had no fucking balls about us. Bruv, it's a shit show, and it's a major L for Arsenal to be top of the table right now, and they're about to do a double. They've done a double on you this season, brother. I don't know how much more embarrassing this season can get, and it's only downhill from here for Spurs as well. Next we got City, about to get pumped there, and they're gonna get their rejuvenation back. Wonderful point. They've not been in great form. Where do you think their juice comes back from? This game coming up. Oh, we got our bogey team. Guarantee you we get slapped on Thursday. And then where do you think Conte's mindset goes? What do you think Conte complains about for the rest of the window? Squad starts not believing and he's working us too hard in training. Bruv, I've been around this circus. We've been doing stoppage time for now, 3-4 years? We've been here before. So it's nothing new for me. So it's the same shit, different year, bruv. But
listen.
So let's start. In fact, have you got super chats before we start going into?
yo, you lot really trying to get...
He's gonna stand up today.
I would take off this shirt before I even showed it back. Am I wearing something underneath? Yeah. Listen, I refuse to rep that Donny.
Go on, do it. Alright, you don't need that top on, do you?
You know what? I actually don't.
Wait.
Let me tell the story first.
No. But wait. I'm not saying normal super
We
chats.
ain't concerned about the story.
Nah,
We ain't trying to hear about that.
disgusting.
We ain't trying to hear about that.
I didn't wear it for this.
Derby Day, what you got on? Let's see, man.
I had to wear Derby Day colours.
Yeah.
I thought, yo, let me come rep my team. Let me come correct.
That's
So
fine.
obviously, a company was nice enough to send me a lovely kit.
Company high.
I thought the third kit was nice. Send me that. I said, yo, lads, can you do me a favour?
Listen to the
You got one
excuses.
job. You got one job, and that was Romero's changed the squad number this year. Send me the number 17. I don't get next man's name on my back. I'll have my name.
There we
but
go.
Get me 17, please. I emphasize it.
What you got going on there? What you got
These
going on?
motherfuckers went and sent me this motherfucking bozo. This motherfucking bozo is what they fucking sent me.
Yo, hey,
Nah, brother.
Hey.
Nah.
hey.
We ain't. Nah.
You see F Diddy right there? F Diddy 7.
Get that shit out of here, man. We ain't trying to see that. Number 7, hype, bro. Send that brother. What was he say? Ask about. Send him the Alakazam, whatever. Fuck out of here, man. I'm sick of that, brother. How many times are you gonna fumble the ball? How many times are you gonna miss chances? Hey, man. Bro,
Yo, man said Alakazam, bro. Yo, that sound like a Harry Potter flipping thing. I said Alakazam.
ain't that a Pokemon or something?
Yo, don't kill me, bro. This guy
Hey,
said
man,
Alakazam,
this club
you know.
will be the end of me, bro.
man.
Yeah, listen, this is a better representation of me anyway, bro.
Haram, brother. Haram.
this is the medication I'm gonna need for this club. This is what they're doing to me.
What's it, what, CBD? Man, this CBD.
Yo, don't try and get into Russia with that. That's all I'm trying to say. We don't want a Britney Griner, you know what I mean?
Bro, fuck that. Who we gonna trade?
I don't know who we're trading. Who we got to trade, bro?
Tuck and toes. Nah, man. Fucking hell, blood.
Oh my days.
Order.
Yo.
Hey.
Yeah, let's get back
Oh
to
man, alright, cool. Conte, let's talk Conte. Oh my gosh, hey, this show is a mess. Do you know the issue I've got with Conte? Yeah, like I understand his frustrations with Spurs. I get it, but the other day I did. This is work. You still have to turn up and do your job in it. And like, I get his pieces are not what he needs them to be. Yeah, but I don't think he's set up right today. I don't think he's set up
100%.
right today. I don't think all of this sort of like, I'm not going to sign my contract. Cool, you still got a job to do to the end of the year. Like,
Oh man.
I just feel that for the caliber of coach that we think he is, or that he's shown that he has this level, I'm not seeing enough. Do you get what I'm
And
coming
listen,
from?
I'm all for like sticking to your identity,
Yeah.
your ethos, or
Yeah.
whatever. But the sign of a great coach for me is your flexibility to say, you know what? Yeah, we got our parameters and our core principles that we work around, but we can flex that. Okay, today we can shift someone into the midfield because we need that extra body. Because I saw in the last reverse fixture, we got boss, and this was where we got school. Yeah, we had possession, but it wasn't, domination. It's just,
No,
I just felt like it was tactically, it was naive.
Tactically, no,
It was
but the thing
naive
is, though-
for me. And then I'll be real with you. I think the Sessegnon starting left wing back is a costly thing when your wing backs are such
thought
a
he was-
key part of your
I
system.
thought he was one of your better players today, though,
in
bro.
moments that when he was getting forward, but then it's the final ball, bro. All the time it's lacking, and that's where I feel like with Perisic he adds that bit of quality. It confused me why he didn't start, but
Do you know
it's
how
small
quickly-
decisions like that games like this it can cost
Do you know what I'll quickly say though? There was times where we were watching the game together and you were saying, why are you not driving? Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? And I personally think that comes from instruction. I personally feel that sometimes the way, when people watch Spurs play, people get frustrated about what they're seeing. But a lot of that comes from frustration. I don't think a lot of the things that those players are doing would be instinctively their first thing to do. So again, it's like, I understand if you don't feel like you've got the players that are up to level, but how are you optimising your players to get the best of what they need to get? In a derby game as well, home game at that as well. You have to impose yourself. We always talk about it, and especially with Spurs. And this Spurs kind of get away with it because we see Spurs as a top club, but we don't see them in the sort of like caliber of everyone else. We always talk about Spurs, but you have to impose yourself in big games. You have to go out there and show you're ready.
Bro.
I saw that with Arsenal. I'm seeing Odegaard come out with all that mattered today was 3 points and doing stuff. Like, where is everyone else, please?
I think my thing is as well, I fully agree with what Maze is saying, but my thing as well, I feel like Spurs, look, they're becoming way too easy to play against in these type of fixtures.
Every big side we played this season and last year has been a mess.
It's been a mess, and you would have thought bringing in a gaffer like Conte, you would have thought in these type of games, you would have probably thought maybe in a 38 games you might get a couple hiccups, but you would have thought in these are the type of games where he'll grind out a result, get a result, and you lot move on. But you lot are just becoming far too easy, in my opinion, to play against. You guys made us look like prime Real Madrid. You're making these lot look like prime Barcelona. It's too easy to play against Spurs in these moments, and I feel like, look, I'm a fan of Conte, you're a fan of Conte, so I've been nice to Spurs this season, because I'm like,
yeah, the kiddie gloves on.
you know what I mean, kind of nice on them. I haven't been as nice with Tuchel and all this type of stuff, but now we've got to speak on the job that Conte is actually doing at Spurs.
Can I give you his Big Six records to see?
Yeah, go on.
He's won 2 games against the Big Six out of 13. His win rate percentage at Spurs against the Big Six, 15%.
15%. So those are damning stats right there, and it's like you're not. And the thing is, it's not even feeling like competitive games.
Yeah.
And at this point now, we've got to look at the manager. Yes, there's a lot of players that aren't good enough. You know what I'm trying to say, but it depends on what we're trying to say Spurs' level is. I think we've mentioned it before. Maybe it's time that Spurs have to start getting back to reality. The last couple years, Poch era and all that type of stuff, you're maybe punching above your weight. But now it's getting to that point where the steady decline is coming. I think this manager's going to end up going. Son is now, his peak is probably gone. His prime, sorry. You look at Harry Kane. Is he going to stay? Is he going to go?
Months, yeah.
We're now got to start looking at that. But at the same time, Conte's not maximising these players in my opinion. Paul Merson said before the game, I see Partey, I see Xhaka, I see Odegaard, I see this Pape Sarr, Højbjerg. It's going to be a riot job in that midfield. And that's exactly what it was. Either Partey or Odegaard will have in the field day. Partey will have the ball, no one around him. Or Odegaard will slip behind, he's got the ball there. How doesn't Conte identify that? Because if you look at the flip side, if you look at Man United yesterday, demolition job at the Etihad that we received, Ten Hag said, thank you for the lesson. Let me see what's going on. Bruno, you're going to go right because I need to get Fred inside. Eriksen's a bit of a liability, but we're going to need some of his creativity or whatever. I don't see that from Conte. And it's the same thing we say about Klopp. Where's the flexibility?
Facts.
Where's the plan B?
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Conte is another top-level manager who I am not seeing any tactical difference with him. I'm not seeing anything. It's just the same way. 3-5-2. Can the wing backs get us something? Harry Kane, or are you going to score or get me an assist or whatever? Win the game for me. For me, we have to look at the manager now, bro.
What I want to add on to that is, for me, when you break down what we're saying about Conte there, that's when you start talking about Europe, the conversation gets even more spooky because his performances in Europe are woeful.
Same as the Big Six record.
And exactly. And why would it not be when you don't have any ability or you're not showing anything that you can adapt? And because if we're saying that Spurs have a level of players, okay, cool. When you play the better teams or better players, what are you going to do from there? I remember when you announced and I said, and the Chelsea fans were giving mixed reviews, and I was saying, in his last days, I remember the game where we played City. I think we lost 1-0. And for the whole game, we had 12 men behind the ball and we just sat on our line and we still lost. And it's like, so what's the point? What's the point of us even turning up? Like, if you're going to do something, you either live by your sword, you die by your sword. It feels all a bit half-hearted.
Do you know what annoys me as well? It feels like our counter-attack is lacking some juice.
I was about to say that.
It's like previously under Jose or even under Nuno,
it's a proper punch.
There was a certain element of when we'll sit behind the ball, cool, but when we counter, it's 100 miles an hour. And part of that, of course, is Son now all of a sudden like Space Jam losing his fucking powers, but it just seems like we've got no threat unless Kane is able to pull something out. In the first half, he had like this flash half chance. Second half, maybe the first 5-10 minutes, we came and looked like we had a bit of something. But you're going to react. You're fucking at home. You're losing 2-0 in a derby. You have to show something. But it just feels like our counter's not there. We can't keep the ball. We can't create in midfield. We have no width out wide. And then for me, it's as you say, if the coach is not able to be flexible enough to say, all right, the system I tried and worked last year, it's not working this year. You're now forcing square pegs into round holes. Switch it up. See if a 4-3-3 can work. See if something else can change. Because that's what top coaches do. And for me, I'll be real with you, I'm past the like, all right, Conte can do no wrong. Bro, you're meant to be a top coach.
Yeah.
You're getting paid 20 million a year. Show us something in games like this as well.
And the thing
I
is,
don't give anybody excuses, man.
in the North London derby, the one thing that was completely lacking, I saw the difference between Arsenal and I saw the difference between Spurs. Arsenal were winning the first balls, they were winning the second balls. You guys are well off the pace. And I'm like, they're going to your ground. They should be thinking, it should be on some Battle of the Bridge vibes. Bro. You lot should be saying, what? You're not, I don't care if you go win the league, but you're not winning it. You're not going to get no momentum from here.
Exactly.
And then Spurs didn't come with none of that. And you'd look at, as I'm saying,
you've got fans showing more fight than the players.
This is what I'm saying. And your manager, but the thing is, your club is meant to reflect your manager. Your manager's personality is meant to be on that pitch. And Conte is meant to be this fiery kind of manager. So why is it not translating to the team? Obviously, look, I'm not gonna lie. Lloris completely threw the game, bro. Literally, he threw the ball in the net pretty much. You know what I mean? So that's gonna take the sting out of the team.
It's the lack of reaction after that.
That's the thing.
It's the lack of even second half. All right, you got that second win for 5-10 minutes. Why can't you keep that? Why are subs not being made in saying, all right, cool, we've got something here. Let's go more on the attack. That's where it's a little bit.
Sorry, just a quick one, but that's why for me this particular game is even weirder because you guys have won the most points from coming back behind. I think it's like 14 points or so. I would think personally, don't get me wrong, your club captain making a blunder like that is unforgivable. Like, you cannot forgive that. So what, he's going to go to the changing room and start giving, come on boys, let's go again. It's impossible.
Yeah, no. I'll be doing this. As soon as Lloris comes in, just give me that. Just yanking it in. Give me that, bro. I'm putting that on my Give me that, bro. What are you talking about?
I would expect, of all the games that you've bounced back, yes, you're playing against less opposition sometimes. I would expect at least, even if you guys lost 2 or 3-0 and you showed some fight today, okay, cool, there's a bit of character. There was nothing there. If this represents what Spurs are, there's a tweet by Abby, hold on, Abby. The club has no direction. Mourinho and Conte for a club who will never give 150 million per window, who never sells players before they are dead wood, who have absolutely no interest in the best interest of the club, only to turn profit, books and sell and NFL and tour tickets. Like,
but how many times have I got to say thank you for NFL London, thank you for Burna Boy concerts or whatever was taking place there, thank you for the upcoming WrestleMania one day. We appreciate your services to the community, but overall, I need to ask you, like, bro, is this the end now, like, of this Spurs cycle? Like, is this the end of Spurs being, look, there's the Big Six show, shout out them, we all say the Big Six, top 6, blah blah. Is this really like the end of Spurs being part of that? Can you feel that coming, or do you think there's still juice there? Because genuinely, I look at your 11, your squad. If your best player is Harry Kane, who's I think going to be on the way out, your next one probably Son or whatever. Kulusevski's good, of course. Romero, I think he's a bit overrated. Bentancur, but is Bentancur like a ceiling raiser? He's not. He's just he's a calm player in the team. So when you look at your squad, when you look at your squad, and you look at your situation, you look at your owners, you look at your manager, everything combined. Do you think this is the end of Spurs as like Big Six?
Is it the beginning of the end?
Sitting at the big boy, or trying to sit at the big boy table, basically. I've said, I think this is the first time where I don't know where the next step is, and I can only see it going downhill from here. I feel like we tried under Pochettino with the hipster style, build from internally, and then we tried to almost, all right, we're going to get Jose and Conte to step up. But we're showing now we don't want to step up in reality. So essentially what the board are saying is they're content, or they're happy with kind of being at that level. You can only sit at that level for so long. I've seen Leicester in the last couple of years come try and do that. You can't maintain that 5th, 6th slot. You either have to be constantly pushing, trying to get back to the top, or you're going to be falling way off. Look at where West Ham are after finishing 2 6s in a row.
Crazy.
They signed Scamacca, Paqueta. Bro, who is going to come in after this and say this is an appealing job? There's no academy. There's no real prospects. There's no real money to be spent. Oh, what are you going to tell me? Training ground and infrastructure. Get the fuck out of here. So nobody care about... Like, this is why I said you have to build the foundations before you can build the shiny charades and all of that. And I'm like, that's what we prioritize, bro. And it's like, now you're left in a position where you could be looking at the abyss. And I said this, I think, a couple of weeks ago. I said, after Kane and Son go, what is the next, like, who's the next star to carry Spurs? I said, there's no difference between you and Villa. Villa have got 3 or 4 cute players. They've got a Buendia and a Coutinho. That's what Bentancur, Romero and Kudo are going to be. And we're going to be battling 10th and 7th and 8th. And it's like, but But I'm not surprised. No Spurs fan will be surprised by this, by the way. For the past 4 or 5 years, this is why it's been enoch out of. We've been seeing this slow, gradual decline, and now it's just like this kind of result rubber stamps it, and it's just like, here you go.
Quickly on this before we go into some super chats. There was something profound you said when you mentioned Leicester being in the midst of it and falling away. When I looked at Leicester,
At least they capitalised.
No, they capitalised. They walked away. Listen,
At least they FA Cup.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you. They ate, and it's like I'm content. But with them, their whole falling off was like their peak of their top players. Maximise it out. Kante, thank you for your services. You can go. Mahrez, thank you for your services. You can go. Jamie Vardy, listen, you weren't supposed to be a. Man said drink water. With you guys approach that place now where you haven't sort of supplemented the next gen. Harry Kane is going to go in the next 18 months probably, which is the point. So it's like, what's kept you in and amongst it is going to leave. So what have you done to prepare for that? We've not seen any sort of squad building.
He said no youth players.
No youth players.
What happens to that youth?
What, Tanganga?
Scarlet.
Yeah, little Danes. What's he doing? How many goals you got?
Do you want to go a step further?
How many goals has Danes Scarlet got at Portsmouth, people?
Do you want to go a step further?
How many?
The talents for you that are the talents that you had in your academy or youth that are doing well on European level, Madueke and Edwards, you let go. So it's like there's a team.
How many has he got? How many has he got? How many goals he got?
Is it between 0 and 5? Is it between 0 and 5? Is it between 0 and 5?
Young,
just made it to 5.
young players. We're developing.
League 2.
Championship, isn't it?
5 and 28.
What league are they in?
Are they League 2 or
League One. They're League One.
You managed to sign Chuba Akpom. That's like a good level of.
This is what I'm saying, man.
Starboy in League 1. I do not. Yeah, let me not even diss him for you. I'm not going to diss him because of you. You know what I mean? That's not nice.
With where Spurs are, before we were recording, you were saying that you've had enough of like teams like Fulham and those teams being hyped because it's like they do well for that one season.
No, not hyped.
No,
the cute shit.
Yeah, no, they do the one season, yeah. But if you think about it, if they had a bit of investment, the conversation of them being close to you is very different without Harry Kane. You know that, right?
The only thing I say with Spurs this year is if by some magical reason you had serious owners take over the club, I think you can actually progress and actually sit at that table. And the other thing I always say is that kind of keeps us in the top 6 mix over the last couple of years even, is the other teams in the top 6 are also shit shows as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you look at Chelsea this year, you look at Liverpool this year, them doing what they're doing like that, every season there's going to be one of these teams. Yeah. So we've almost like taken advantage of that, and I feel like that window will always be there for, even if it's not us, a Leicester, or West Ham,
someone
or whatever.
to try and nick it. Yeah.
So I feel like because that door will always be up, it's not completely shut. But for the foreseeable future, next 2-3 years, brother, it's going to be. You remember Arsenal 8th, Chelsea finishing 10th. All that. I don't know if there's going to be a bounce back. That's the only difference. Because guess what them teams are doing?
Spending the cash.
Spending.
Do you know what stands out to me in all this? Let's go super chats. Before we step like this, you man should have let my man play that final, man. At least you would have had something to show for it.
Who?
Yeah,
Josie should have got that final.
Josie should have got that opportunity. He knows that.
You're talking.
No, I'm saying as the years go on, it's like a glaring mistake.
I will never forgive the Spurs fans that were saying
glaring
he was
mistake.
Right. He should have gone. I wanted you. And guys like Tapping Tobes and all of them, I remember all of you lot loving it. Saying, hey,
drop.
Yeah. Nah, man. Listen.
They wanted flipping Ryan Mason, mate. Oh, man. Ryan Mason.
Let's go. Super chats. I'm sure we've got a few. Let's go.
Yeah, we got a few.
Yeah, of course.
What are they cooking up, man? But I saw 450 people waiting before the shot. I said, hold on, I ain't never seen this many people.
Tim AFC says, "No Arteta's men tweet from Cam today."
Listen. Listen.
Hey, that's a good one.
That was a reason for that. They're rivals now. There was a reason for that.
You really are in a title race now.
Also, you men still think Arteta hasn't improved any players. We remember.
I mean, come on, that was like a
3 seasons ago, though, man.
Brother, listen. Of course I'm not going to tweet. You know we're going to war next week. Come on, fam. You got come. I ain't hyping them before we go to war. You know what I mean?
So you don't want to give them a bit of false hope?
Come on, man. We ain't hyping them before we go to war. We go to war next week, man. We'll talk soon. You know what I'm saying?
If they win,
you know, Cam's not giving false hope means he rates you lot. Yeah. You know that means he's threatened. Because if he wasn't threatened, he would just say, "Oh, that's a man. Yeah, we go flow. He's actually scared.
Listen, we'll talk, man. We'll talk.
Be scared.
So we'll say one game at a time.
Of course, man. We're only thinking about Palace, bro. We're only thinking about Palace, but we go to war next week. You know what I mean? I saw the way them man were trying to pattern you lot at the end. Let's see if you guys try and pattern us like that. You know what I mean? With Casemiro and a couple of real men. You think you're barging us about like that? Come on, man. Ramsdale! We'll talk soon, bro. We'll talk soon.
Go on, what else you got?
Ashford the super chat says Arteta's front line cost £6 million. Respect him now.
Crazy.
That's dope. Money.
AJ with the super chat says Cams, enjoy your haram win. Webb is back. United is back.
Come on, man. One day it's Howard Webb, then it's Mike Riley. Brother, come on. We're just winners. That's all. Winners talking, innit?
This one is interesting. Cams used to be a bigger Conte backer than Fuad. Speak on your manager. This one is on him for me. Back 5 and 2 holding mids and still leaky. You've been hiding from me. I can't lie. You've been dodging bullets from me.
That's what other people
Listen, let me tell you something. You know, hype and Conte and stuff is all good. You know what I mean?
Listen, I know Cam's PR games, man.
My gaffer was Ollie. You know, I wanted Conte at the time. Life was tough. But then, you see, we just put the bat signal out. And
the bald signal.
Shiny, bald-headed man.
Number 10.
You know, this shiny, bald-headed man just landed. Boom. How can I help you? I said,
Maze.
Oh, please.
Another crazy bit.
Save this club.
I called for that, man. They didn't believe in the vision.
Your back signal went VVS.
Tottenham fans themselves were calling me, man. They were like, "Oh, you on this Dutch guy?" No. We saw Frank de Boer. I said, "All right, cool." And now they're watching him at.
They were comparing to Frank de Boer, yeah.
Hey, listen, man.
Say now that I'm good. My home is safe. We put a padlock on. We got the ring doorbell. Everything is good over here. Y'all be safe over there. You know what I mean? Y'all be safe. We're good over here with Ten Hag. Trust me, fam. Y'all be safe.
That's too funny. You got any more?
Yeah, of course.
Let's go.
Go to the next one. Suns dive compared to last year is ridiculous. What happened?
I feel like you've done a breakdown of Son already. Do you want to just quickly summarize it?
I'm just tired of talking to this guy. I feel like I'm almost becoming like this Son hater, and it's like I don't hate the Son. I'm just calling it for what it is. For me, I just feel like he hasn't been the same player for. Well, Spurs fans will criticise him because he got the golden boot at the back end of last year and popped up with some key goals. I was looking at performances. I'm like, this guy doesn't contribute throughout the 90 minutes. He shouldn't be in world-class conversations. And I've said, you look at his overall game, it doesn't exude world-class. When you take away the finishing, which is what's happened this season, he looks a very average player. And you see that when he gets on the ball. His touches are loose. He can't keep control. His shot's wayward. Today he had one where it was near post and he fucking hit into Rosette from like 7 yards out. I'm like, bro, what's happened to this guy? So I don't know whether it's a confidence thing. I don't know whether it's a system thing, because this is the same system he's been thriving and eating off for the past 2 years and has been called world class off the back of it. So it's like, what suddenly changed? So
no, he was never, for me. We've said he was never world class.
I've always said he's on that cusp, and I was never sure before. When he added the goals and he had that, I could take my man on, I can link play. Cool. I was like, well, you can have discussion. Once he started to lose that and it just started to become about goals and Harry Kane's link-up play, I was like, no. And I remember people like you, I don't forget, were saying Son is more important to Spurs than Kane. And I told you that narrative never going to work.
18, 19 shots.
I don't forget. I'm just saying, the same way the comments don't forget, I don't forget either.
But let me tell you something. Okay. All right, let me answer that then. At the time of when I was saying, you know, when I decided, you know what, I'm going to give Son some hype.
Nah, you was going crazy with the Son gas.
What did me and Son do? I took you to the Champions League final.
he with it?
I took you to the Champions League final.
Nah.
What happened? Your boy came back
nah.
and ruined the whole final. That's what happened. And then I dropped him.
Listen,
you know
run
what I mean?
whatever narrative, but Son is
quick
just, Son
summary
is
on
just
Son.
tired, in my opinion.
If
He needs to move on, in my
If
opinion.
Son wasn't at Spurs and was at any of the other top 6 clubs, I don't think he'll be viewed the way he's viewed in terms of like the world class hype and everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like ultimately having someone like Harry Kane that ultimately carries and you can chip him makes you look even superior.
Yeah.
But anytime, for the most part, when Son has been called upon as in, we need you help, I, from personally, haven't seen it happen. I've seen purple patches of he's scoring goals and everything.
I will say there was like a 4-season period where Kane would just take a monthly ankle injury out. He would always step
and then
up
he
in
would
that
step
period.
up.
So
I'm
I
talking
can't
about
say he didn't
I'm talking
step
about
up.
big. As in, like, with Harry Kane, you can say that, oh my gosh. Even Harry Kane's big moments have always been questioned.
Don't forget the Champions League by Man City.
I was going to say, if anything,
I'm talking about in terms of longevity of
Son,
him.
I would say, has probably been more important in some of them bigger games than Kane.
Longevity for me, Son's not been there.
What I would say
He's
is
not
for me,
been there for me.
the most disappointing thing about Son is how
Consistency.
this decline has happened. I accepted the purple patch thing. I knew I might get you for 7 games, 5 games, you'll disappear. Cool. When them 7 games, they're coming back. They're not coming back anymore.
that's the thing about purple
He's on the
patches.
big deal now. There's no threat to his position. Every manager who comes into Spurs treats him like he's a golden player. The media, he can do no wrong because he's got this little cute. Hey, look at my son, bro. Cut this shit out. We need to grow past him now. We're at that stage, and I know it's funny saying that, but you're saying what is next for Spurs? This is what's next. We need to get ahead of the curve and say, do you know what? All right, son, we thank you for your service. It's time to go. Lloris, thank you for your service. It's time to go. Kane, thank you for your service. Go win some medals. It's simple. Let's move on and head to the abyss, bro. I'm ready to start from scratch.
Heung-min Son. Welcome to
Good Dude University. Our newest applicant.
Welcome to Good Dude University.
He's going to be on the prospectus. I can't lie. He's got to be front page.
He's rooming with Aubameyang and Koulibaly, bro. He's rooming with Aubameyang and
Oh my
Koulibaly.
gosh.
Bruh, listen.
Real talk.
You're going to come through the
There's
MCM
been-
bag.
We got a few more anyways.
Go.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, do you think-
Continue.
Tim AFC goes, Fuad, you must stand.
Oh yeah.
Chuds 101 goes, Fuad Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
That's funny.
Mark Goldbridge says, Cam's put respect on Rashford and Shaw. Martial is a scrub. Fuad Ali goes, that Zinchenko performance was one of the best I've ever seen at fullback.
Thanks for the talk about
Yeah,
this.
we're gonna talk about
Shout
Arsenal.
out to Eddie and Ketia, All Action 9. Orange says our captain deserves flowers this season.
Oh,
30
we'll
million
talk
pounds, you know. He also says Gabriel and Ramsdale were outstanding today. Come on, you Gunners. And then finally, Kulusevski is better than Saka. Hype. Rich Charlison rattle.
King of the wing. King of the right wing. King of the right wing.
Bukaki, yeah?
You got me. You got me red-handed.
Alright, boom. Let's touch on Arsenal because again, top of the table, still doing what it needs to do, but performance did what it needs to do. Got in,
Bro,
dealt with them,
no.
got out.
Performance was more than did what they need to do.
No, I'm saying that in terms of like that. In terms of like saying that, listen, this isn't. We don't care about the derby. We just care about we've got bigger priorities.
Right.
They made it just look like a little man thing. Honestly, it was bad. It was bad. Someone mentioned about the O. I think we've spoken about the O at various points this season, but someone sent a message to the group chat and said, "This is the player that Real Madrid bought." You're finally seeing. You know when people are going after wonder kids and everything,
Yeah.
you are finally seeing
The fruition.
that perfect. And how old is he? 23, 24?
23.
2024, innit?
I tweeted after the game. I said, Madrid, put a cheeky bid in. I want to see something. You think he fits right? He fits right into their
Man
profile.
said, get them back, you know.
He fits right. If look at the age stuff they're trying to build right now. He fits right into
You
that
think
profile.
that Modric is on his way out?
Yeah.
Well, he could have slipped into that little
Cruz
role,
might,
but
Cruz might be
it's not-
retiring at the end of the season.
It's not.
Zidane had no patience.
But it's not. I mean, I don't think he'll leave anytime soon. But don't be surprised if he becomes a Galactico one day. You're seeing it with his performances. We talk about leaders, and there's always this like sort of like leaders have to be real men, shouting everything. he leads in a perfect way. You watch my performances. This is what we're gonna do. He goes out there. He was, for me.
I saw him leading the team talk at halftime before. I saw him when they got on the pitch. He was leading the huddle. You know, he's getting that vocal leadership. Obviously, he's a captain of Norway as well, so he's obviously got some
practice there.
He's probably got some speech, some vocal leadership as well, not only just on the pitch as well. So, big him up,
bro. Did you see there was one part that pass with the inside just to Nketiah in the second half?
That was Shaka.
Was that Shaka?
Shaka was enjoying
Shaka
that.
started doing no looks.
Some of the passes they were playing today, I couldn't fucking believe.
But the Nketiah thing as well, I think the sign of how well Arsenal are doing is no one's asking about Jesus. No one is saying anything about Jesus. No one is mentioning a thing about Jesus. That is how well they're performing. That's how well Nketiah's performing. I always give you lot credit for shouts. There's probably about 3 games left. He's on 4 goals since he got back from the World Cup. He could reach that 6-goal target. He could have got a few goals today as well.
He should have got a few goals. Finished today.
But I mean, he was still active. Who else was there that performed well? Zinchenko.
I think that's a testament to their mentality as well, though. Because a lot of times I feel like in previous years, if Arsenal teams got a big injury like that to like a Sanchez or an Ozil, I don't know if they would have reacted and bounced back in that same way. I feel like this Arsenal team mentally, they're different now. They are. It's like, that's where I said this second half of the season, I think I want to see how they react to that Jesus injury. Does Nketiah look kind of a void of confidence? Like, bro, he has not missed a beat, bruv, literally.
And that's the thing. Like, there was all this talk, obviously, about Mudryk going to Chelsea and stuff. And I was saying to like my Arsenal friends, I was like, one thing you guys got to remember is Saka doesn't give a shit about that. Martinelli doesn't give a shit. None of these guys. The only person that will be jarred is Edu, Arsenal fans, and Arteta. But the players on the pitch, it doesn't change anything for them. They're still going to go out there and try and get wins. They're still going to continue doing what they're doing. A little hiccup against Newcastle, a draw. Newcastle are a very good team. Look what they're doing.
It's not a hiccup.
So when you look at what they're doing, I'm like, bro, it's not going to affect us on the pitch. I get the fans are thinking we need to mount a title charge, but these are still the same guys that have been putting in work all season. The least changed 11, which I get. Maybe you want to bring in fresher legs or whatever, but it doesn't look like these guys are slowing down. That's the thing. They're playing good football. It was dominant from the start. And you're mentioning Odegaard, you're mentioning all these names, but and you translate, but it's Zinchenko as well. What he offers them, you actually see a massive difference in Arsenal when KT is on the pitch and when Zinchenko is on the pitch. There's actually a complete difference. Arsenal have so much more control. It's so much more balanced. Partey gets a lot more of the ball. Xhaka starts being able to push forward because he's playing in this little inverted position. And I found out this week actually that it was actually Arteta that said that he should be a left back. That he should go left back. So all this credit that, you know, Pepito football and Pep is the inventor of the game. You know what I mean? Football started when Pep was born. It was actually Arteta that said he should be left back. So Zinchenko coming in, slotting into that left back, which is funny because people thought he was going to be a centre mid at Arsenal potentially. He's coming in, he's playing at left back, who Arteta identified as a left back, and he's absolutely going crazy at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
How much did they get him for as well?
He's not even. That's what I'm saying. You're talking about. We're going to talk about Man City in a bit. But sales like that, Jesus, Sterling. They weren't wise sales, bro. You just gave Arsenal two key players, and now Arsenal might go and win the flipping league. That is a monumental L, bro. That is a monumental L. So
it's like when Barca gave Suarez that Atletico and they won the title.
And he's top scorer. Bro, he cried his eyes out. Alright, cool. Thanks for the La Liga, bro. Next season he's crying his eyes out.
Honestly, it's so mad. But quickly on that, because obviously the Mudryk thing's been a massive part of their week. I know a lot of Arsenal fans have been like vexed about that. We take too long to sign players. Edu, all of this. This was the same team that was singing and dancing for Don Raúl, you know.
Don Raúl, hi.
When he spent 82 million on Pepe and then took 6 million in his own pocket.
82 million
or whatever it was.
72 million.
Okay, 70 on how much?
That's an important 10.
How much did he put in his pocket? Like 10 of it. So you get me. So like at the end of the day, you didn't get the transfer target you wanted, but in terms of the balance of the squad, a signing like that may not always, you know, you're spending 100 million euros on a kid that's played 50 games and then he's just going to be on the periphery. You don't know how that might change. It might be a great signing for them, but you never know how that's going to affect the room.
I said Arsenal fans shouldn't be concerned about that because one thing is, look, Arsenal offered Mudryk apparently about 35k to 40k a week or something like that. All right, let's just say max it was 40k. We've heard different figures. We've heard 40k. Now, everyone is clowning Arsenal. People are clowning Arsenal for that because Chelsea have come and given him 125k or something. I said it, bro. This guy was sleeping at Granny's crib. Bro. Do you know what I mean? 3k a week. He was in a yard probably not even bigger than my house right at the moment. And you can't go from 3k a week to 125k like that, in my opinion, then going to a city like London, which is popping. I'm telling you right now, if somebody gave me 125k to go live in LA or something and kickball,
I don't know.
You man won't see me again, bro. I'm gonna be in some pit, in some ditch somewhere done out here, bro. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be enjoying life way too much.
Yeah.
And then like you gotta think about it. Like let's think about it intelligently, yeah. Saka's new deal ain't done. Martinelli's new deal ain't done. Saliba ain't done. Imagine you bring in some Mudryk who's played 30 league games in Ukraine and say 125k. Saka's agent's gonna be like,
what?
250, please.
Crazy.
Martinelli's.
That's
180, please.
Yeah.
Saliba. All right, at 160 as well.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Arsenal's whole wage structure is broken and done out here.
And
I
bro,
don't think
sorry,
Arsenal
and
fans
after-
should be that mad that he's gone, bro. It was for the better for me.
bro, and
100 million.
The point of that as well is after all of the hard work they did to get rid of all the backlog and all the nonsense of the high wages and everything, why put yourself in a position where you're bringing another culture of making it go through the roof again? Because it wasn't long ago where they were saying sell this Deadwood player, get this person off the wages, get Lacazette off the wages. Like sometimes the balance and the here and now is more important than signing someone for the future. Like just get right now. Like
No, but
you can find another
I still
target.
think because they weren't going to offer the 125k you were offering. They were
No, no.
offering like the 40k or whatever.
Yeah.
But you
I
can't
think
get in
him
a bidding
coming-
war. That's what I'm saying. You can't get in a bidding war.
100%, I
You
get
can't.
that. But I mean, I don't blame them. I think that's a player that, even though people are saying like, oh, why are you spending that kind of crazy money? I think they're looking at themselves in a strong position. They've seen Arteta get backed over 2 summer, and in the middle of the season, it's kind of perfect spark plug, I think, in a title-winning season when you're like, all right, we're going to freshen up our attack, bring this player who can come in and throw something in. The only thing I'm thinking is, on his end, you do all of that twerking, all of that fake Arsenal shirt, and then for me, it's one of the most nastiest moves in my opinion. It's worse than that John Obi Mikel, what you did to them.
Oh, when he wore the shirt.
Bro, man wore the shirt in a presser and then you lot ended
worse
up
than
signing
Willian?
him. Bro, this is worse than Willian in my opinion.
But Willian was at
Do you know
the
what it
training
is with Willian? Willian was in the medical, everything complete, but Willian didn't give a shit about Spurs.
Yeah.
This guy is going on like he
I'm an
loves
Arsenal
Arsenal.
boy.
I'm an Arsenal boy. And I'm like, the fans are also buying into it. So in my head, if I'm him, you're saying 125k or whatever. If you're going from 3k, granny cake, 40k is a lot, brother. If you love Arsenal that much, sign for them. Because I'll be real with you, you lot presented him today and he was in his little Ukraine flag. Cute. Chelsea fans didn't give 2 shits. I saw videos from the stadium, smatters of applause. Hey, Chelsea, Chelsea. If that was at the Emirates, brother, it would have been 300 Rome, prime, 500 BC. That man would have been chanting, Modric, Modric. I'm telling you, it would have been a different animal.
Bro,
but
listen,
this
man.
is now what he's chosen. He's chosen money. He's chosen a squad that's in transition. I hope he can survive this drought. And also, Arsenal fans now are gonna drown this. let him drop one bad performance.
What?
You see that WWE ref
Yeah.
running down? That meme is gonna
Man
get
said one bad performance. Let him have one bad touch.
Bro.
He's in trouble, bro.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
man.
Nah, but I agree.
If he came in and just signed for Arsenal, I felt like even his career, it just gives it that
What I would
kind of
say though-
perfect
I can't lie though,
kickstart.
What I would say though is, whilst
It's a
that
weird
is
move.
whilst that is true, you have to remember the other side of it, which was the actual fee, which was Chelsea decided to give that extra 5 million. And Arsenal said they wouldn't. So even the whole player terms and everything, the club already said we need the extra 5 mil. So
Like, the
whilst
thing
it's
is-
true, that was a technicality that they had to go over as well. My main point is, it's one of those things where I don't feel like they should act like they've got bigger issues to think about right now. Don't get me wrong, you miss out on your number 1 transfer target. Alright, cool. You're trying to win the league right now. You've taken a big step forward in terms of beating your rivals. And let's be real, the way you are right now, there are enough targets out there that you can be smart. Arsenal's, if you look at Arsenal's top transfer signings and whatnot, the only bust in there is Pepe. If you look at United, there's busts in there. If you look at Chelsea's, goddamn, there's a lot of busts in there. There's no need to do something that puts yourself in a situation where you're just gonna go back to where you were. For me personally, they've done it. Just I can't name a bad decision Arsenal have made recently in terms of what they're doing. Fam, it might be a blessing.
Yeah,
in
do you know
disguise.
what? If I was Arsenal, look, I'll take the L. You know what I mean? Cool. Let's not.
It's not the worst
obviously,
thing in the world.
The
Yeah.
one
They can
person
still-
it looks bad on is Edu, innit? Like Edu It looks bad on him because Arsenal are flying. They're trying to win a league. They want a little spark. Brother, why can't you get this deal over the line? Vlahovic, why couldn't you get that done? Locatelli, why couldn't you get that done? Felix, why couldn't you get that done? So I understand they're like, what's going on here, bro? Like, a lot of talk, you're not getting it patterned. So Edu's the only one where he's probably going to have to answer some questions. But as you're mentioning, bro, it may sound like crazy, but I'll just look around, see who is experienced in. You're trying to win the Prem, right?
Thank you.
I'm trying to see who is experienced enough and decent enough that will come and give us an off the bench threat in this league. That's what I'll be looking for if I was Arsenal. Who knows, bro? You're gonna bring in a guy. You're trying to remember Arsenal are trying to capitalize. Yeah, we don't know how sustainable Arsenal are going to be for the next couple of years. Who knows? They probably might be, but they're trying to capitalize right now to win this league. You bring in a guy from Ukraine, the 21-year-old, played 30 games in that league, and then what? Man are going to start telling me he needs time. He needs no, bro. We got a title to win.
It's now.
What are you telling me about? We need time. Who knows this league? Who can ball in this league and go and get it
the
done?
reason
That's
why
what I
it's
would
more
do.
disappointing, I think, is because when you hear the alternatives of like Zaha and Trossard, it's a bit like I think.
Why are you gonna say it like that? I said Zaha and Trossard.
Zaha gives them a bit
No,
of
look,
bite,
they're
I can't lie.
Premier League solid guys, yeah. But when you're almost sold like the new shiny toy, and you see him doing this thing in the Champions League as well, you're thinking, all right, cool. He does all the social media fluff. You're thinking, I'm gonna get something.
No, I hear it. I
Now
hear it.
it's like, where do they go from here? And I think that's the disappointment is. If it's not going to be Mudryk, we want an impact type signing like that. I think the only one I can think of, which is highly unlikely, possibly Rafinha. I'm hearing there's
Bro,
talk.
He's available. He'll probably be available on a loan
Yo,
as
He
well.
plays on a different side to Mudryk, so then the planning is a bit.
Hey,
But he'll
I
probably be
say they
available on a
probably
loan.
need.
He's not doing well out
Need
there.
more
But
cover
I
for
mean,
Saka than they do that.
Ansu
side.
Fati's available on a loan. Boy,
They got
listen.
cover for Saka.
Yeah, that's true. Ian Sarr's back, innit?
Yeah, Sar's back. Slap him on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saka plays maximum minutes as well.
Listen, but let us know who you think
Long
could
time
be option.
Marquinhos guy.
Listen, we've spoken about
Martinelli
Arsenal.
was like that when
Oh
he
my
first
gosh,
came. So
don't use
toxic.
that. We've spoken about Arsenal. I want to segue to United because you guys are playing each other, and of course, you guys won your derby as well. I want production. Can you help me get the stat up about Marcus Rashford, please? 'Cause I want to touch on that stat. But before we get into that stat of Marcus Rashford and the big game, sort of the craziness he's been on, you have won every single game since Voldemort left. You are now. Where are you in league?
That's really interesting.
We're fourth now actually, but we got a game in hand.
You
on
got a game in
Newcastle,
hand.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
fourth. You got a game in hand. You go to Arsenal next week. The camp looks in good spirits. Bruno Fernandes at the end of the game said, "For a while we had been a team of individuals, but we're a team now." Ten Hag's sort of win rate since he's been at United is one of the best. When you look at where the season is now. You said it's one game at a time, but what did that specific derby game victory win? Because there's a lot of people that were saying, "See, never lose 2 games in a row. Oh, we're finished. They're gonna cook us. Oh, they're gonna deal with us." But 2 quick goals, solid game plan for me personally in terms of the way it was handled. What does this fixture mean? I don't want to go extreme because remember we spoke to Jordan Lescott once. Go and watch that episode if you've never watched it before.
Good name drop.
Come on, man.
Not bad, decent.
But remember when he was talking about how that victory meant something, it was like, okay, we can feel the tide turning. In terms of the importance of this derby, what is that to you as a United fan?
It's a big win. It's a big win. It's a very, very big win for us as a club, especially after the events that took place earlier in the season. Two men walked away with a match ball. I mean, it's historic, bro. They're making history out here on our heads, you know what I mean? So it's a massive win for us, bro. Like, I can't understate it in terms of the size of that win.
Yeah.
Especially to go a goal down in the 60th minute, not in the 31st, 28 minutes, 60th minute. Mate, I was looking at him like, it really be your own, innit? It really be your own.
I was doing the watch along. You know, the only thing that I was happy about, I know Camps can't celebrate this. So I was like, yes.
Jackie, we'll get onto that anyway in a bit. But I mean, obviously, going a goal down and then to show the resilience. Look, I've said it already. I tweeted it already. The rules are the rules, I guess, and they've done like 3 verifications of it and said that it's a confirmed goal. It's the right decision. But it's a weird rule for me. That should probably not have been a goal.
No?
Rashford was
Shouldn't have been a goal.
in the way. He was just like in the way. He was running towards the ball. Yeah, just in the way.
Visually, he was in the way, but that's it.
What Ederson is thinking about.
Ederson's
Ederson's
prepared
thinking
for
about
his
him. I know Akanji wasn't that close to it. It would have probably got to Bruno, but I just think even the way Akanji was running and stuff, you've affected the game, Rashford.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we went and scored. Hey, listen, we'll take it. The rules are the rules. You know what I mean? We need that rubber to green.
Didn't Arsenal have the same shit in the FA Cup against you lot one
The
time?
time ago, Sanchez, yeah. So obviously, and then to go and actually get the winner, unbelievable feeling. Honestly, bro, like I thought we were gonna win the game, but then when we went 1-0 down, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, City are just another level. You know what I mean? Because in that second half, they turned it up, bro. Like first half, we were controlling the zones. Ten Hag said before the game, Rodri's the key man. The key man. On a pitch with KDB, all these guys, Rodri's the key man, which I've been saying for quite a while about this Man City team. And we put Fred around, no, sorry, not Fred, sorry. We put Eriksen around him. But not only that, we had Martial standing up, just like kind of on the toes, Eriksen behind, and we created kind of like a box, making Haaland come drop deep. I saw Haaland doing bounce passes with Ake. Brother, don't ever do that again. Don't ever do it. Get back to where you belong, bro. Get back to it in the paint. Yeah, in the paint. Like, get in the paint, catch some lobs, do what you need to do. Do you know what I mean? Don't ever let me see you around them zones. You know what I mean?
Shaq trying to handle the ball.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Bro, why are you bringing the ball up? You're like 7'3". Get back in the paint.
Tim Duncan,
You know what I'm saying?
Go run a screen, man.
Yeah, I'm saying, give it to the Hoopers, man. What's wrong with him, bro? Do you know what I'm saying? He acting different. Like, yo, you got a little hatchet, now you're acting different. Come on, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
Get your ass in the paint.
yeah, but overall, we were making City players do what they're not familiar with. KDB didn't get a sniff in the first half. Okay, KDB got the assist in the end.
Yeah.
However, we kind of nullified and controlled his performance. Same way with Rodri. I thought they grew in the second half, but overall, it was a very good defensive performance. And that's one thing about Man United at the moment. We're solid, bro. We're a solid team. It's hard to break down Man United. We
Even with
limited them.
Shaw at centre back as well.
Oh, mate, we'll talk on that.
Yeah.
But
Yes, we will.
Liverpool, not Liverpool, Man City limited them to. I'm not an XG person, but now I'll be seeing it just to see what I want. It's part of the game now,
It's
isn't
part of
it?
the game, bro.
0.76 XG, 1 shot on target, 5 shots all game. Manchester City with Haaland, with KDB, with Foden, with Mahrez. It was a good performance from Man United. Great performance overall. Off the ball, controlled the game, and bro, to go and get the win, Marcus Rashford doing what he does, is that his 24th goal against the top 6?
So this
You guys, I told you.
27 of Marcus Rashford's 67 Premier League goals have been game winners. The highest percentage of any player to have scored at least 50 goals in the competition. 40.3%.
I told you, you want to dance with the BGBs. Tell them we don't dance. We dance with smoke. I'm telling you. The BGB, big game bully, man. I said it. Big game bully. He's got a couple of you guys out here this season. Is it Arsenal out here? City out here. I don't know if did we crash on Liverpool?
Of course.
Crashed on Liverpool, bro.
Spurs.
Big games.
Did he crash on Spurs? Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No.
No, but big games, I feel like he always
he's
turns up.
verified and going to score the winner. One thing I want to give him massive respect for is, bro, he could have easily come off, got that hip injury, and then he said, Ten Hag said as well, you got to learn how to suffer through these games. This is a big game. Deal with the now. We're not thinking about Arsenal next week, but we've got Manchester City at home. Deal with the now. And that's what we've done. Garnacho, impact sub. He's been brilliant as an impact sub. And it's just an all-round good performance, man. Like, I don't think it was the greatest game from Casemiro all round. He made some important blocks. And just his presence there helps us so much. But there's special shouts to like Fred. Varane. I'm going to talk about Varane. Fred, Wan-Bissaka. Bro, the brother, as I said,
For Spider.
I've heard the guy wants to make it at the club, bro. The guy is focusing on trying to break into the team, and that's the mentality you gotta have. And that's one thing that Ten Hag is building in this team: competition in places. Martinez didn't play. The guys, Ten Hag is mad enough that he had Casemiro not playing at the Etihad. Like, even though that was a mistake, but he builds competition in the squad. Man, put Luke Shaw, you're going to start centre-back in the Manchester derby. Martinez, you didn't come back from the World Cup, you're hungover. Sit on the bench, bro. Sit on the bench.
Do you know
And
one
that's
thing
what
I
I love
loved
about
about
this guy.
his trust with his players? Yeah, I think someone tweeted out, I don't know if it was Scripto, but he said he takes so long to trust someone, but once he trusts you,
Yeah, you're locked in. You're locked in.
You're locked in. Like Wan-Bissaka now, we haven't seen him all season, but he will probably get used now. Short at centre back, all of a sudden now he's definitely going to become one of his soldiers. The way he come back in, but you saw the way Malacia started this season. You didn't think Shaw would get in. Now he looks undroppable. So the way Ten Hag for me has handled this whole run, this whole transition, the way you lot are playing now as well, bruv, that's one of the biggest games, let's be honest, on your calendar. And when, as you said, when you go 1-0 down, for me, it's the manner which you lot turn that around. I'm like, bro, how many times are we going to see these United type celebrations on the Casemiro doing the... I'm like, bro, we've seen two over the last 3-4 years. No matter how bad it gets at United, they will always have one night where they just, you know, bop, and I'm just like,
and then they'll be like, it's the best time we've had in ages.
Bruno, though, I want to give a shout out as well. On the right wing, I didn't even expect that. I was like, yo,
I mean, I got to give him credit.
Where did you get this from?
I got to give him credit for understanding the situation as well for the goal. You know what I mean? And you were talking about earlier about his leadership. Like, the guy is one of the Man United leaders. I think he's the greatest player in the world. No, he's very useful to what we're doing at the moment. And I said, even though his stats are way down from his best season, I prefer him now than I have any other season, because I think he's not as wasteful, he's not as crazy, he's impacting the game in other ways. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So big credit to him. But I've just got, bro, Varane is immense. Varane is immense. There's some thing in this country that people don't want to rate Varane because of what he did against Man City. Didn't have the best season last year.
He's got knock knees.
But do you know, he runs so funny. But the guy is a Rolls Royce, like they say. The guy is a top centre half. And no matter who plays him, Maguire, I'm going to make it work. Lindelof, I'm going to make it work. Luke Shaw, I'm going to make it work. Martinez, I'm going to make it work. That guy is pivotal to what Man United are doing. He's part of our core. You know, you talk about Martinez, all these type of guys, but it's Varane in the defence. That's the main part of our core. And maybe because he's not shouty leader like that, but Ten Hag has tapped into that. He said, you are a leader of this team. You're a winner. You need to start acting like it. I'm seeing Varane go to the fans. Yeah, I'm like, hey, you ain't ever acted like that before. You ain't ever acted like that. You're loving it now. You know what I mean? He understands what it is. You know what I mean? And I'm loving to see it. There's some crazy, false kind of perception of Varane in this country. I don't get it. The guy is easily one of the best centre-halves in the Premier League. For me, I saw people say Martinez is better than him. No, you were one of them. Varane's better than him, bro. He's a top centre-half, man.
What I would say is, with Varane, I mentioned this about Ten Hag and Rashford, about, you know, what he's done well is he's cultivated a culture where everyone's tapping in and trying to get them maximised. We always talk about coaches, right? And coaches have to maximise players' potential and push them further. With Rashford, it looks like he sat down and said, listen, this is what's going to work best for you. Trust me. And we're going to the moon. Rashford's not looked back since. No one can say that this is it's a really good form. We've seen Rashford do some of this stuff before. Now it's just consistency now. We're seeing, and then Casemiro's coming out and being like, he's one of the best players I've seen.
He's hitting an evolution, man.
Exactly.
Hitting an evolution. It's a second evolution.
With Varane, the thing, everyone's always known that Varane is a top player. He's come in. I don't need you to be a top player, top prospect. I need you to be a leader. What we're seeing, he's doing it. They had question marks about Laturo's going to be too small for this league, bro. Needs to do certain things. What's he coming? Come in, done it. So when I see Ten Hag,
even small things like getting the hair to reduce his contract. I reckon if Oli was still here, the hater says, "Yo, I'm upping on that."
The hater said, "You got me, guys. You got me."
I know a real coach when I see one.
I stole from the club. I stole. You got me now. You know what I mean?
Where I want to take next is when I see Woodworkhorst and I see links like that. I have a feeling that Ten Hag, he's identified people going, "Oh my God, it's 6 rooks." He said, "Don't listen, guys. We understand what we want to do here. I need you to do X, Y, and Z for me and maximize everyone else." For me, genuinely, people are going to be surprised how good that sign is, because what's it going to do?
Veggington. Listen, for me, we'll see about that sign. I'm not too convinced. You know what I mean? I'm not too convinced.
I think you'll do well. I think it will optimize it's not about him coming and scoring 20 goals. I think he'll optimize things around.
No, I understand.
Facilitation.
The idea, I understand. Just about let me see the execution. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, for me, he's an average player. Let's keep it 100.
So let me flip it. Let's turn to the question. Let's turn to the question.
And then Messi punked him. That lost a lot of real men points.
Give me that wall.
But
Give me that wall.
let me give you. I'll throw this question. With everything you've seen Ten Hag do, you're dumb. With this squad and everything and how it's all been built, has that not built trust in you that anyone he's going after, he has a plan?
No, of course, bro. I back his decisions. Yeah, I'm trying to say I back his decisions. The only thing I just feel like it was a forced upon decision. You know what I mean? The Glazers, no money, all this rubbish. I think that's what led us here. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been his first option if he had all the money. Of course.
But of course, let's see how it works out. But as you mentioned, everything at the moment that he's touching is turning to gold. You know what I mean? Luke Shaw centre half. Listen, people might kill me, but I might be preferring him centre half to certain man, fam. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Certain man at my club, but I don't want to put anyone against each other. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
But when it's mates now,
I don't want to put anyone against each other. Nah, Luke Shaw at centre half. Listen, people can go back to my tweets 2020.
You saying drop
I said he's the
Lisandro?
best. Hey,
I'm watching Cavs, you know. There's some Lisandro hatred he's got on the low. He's been trying to pop up Varane for the last couple of weeks.
Look what they did.
This Lisandro guy, he ain't even a starter at the World Cup, you know.
But Anthony needs more time for Cam.
I'm
look what they
watching you
did. You see
very
what they
close.
did?
All of a sudden you prefer Shaw at centre back.
Now they're trying to say that I hate Lisandro.
Interesting observation.
I have nothing against Lisandro. I'm just balanced with how I rate him.
You just don't like his height.
No, he's a good centre half. He's a good centre back.
Let
But
us sober up and we'll be okay, bro.
that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, he's a good centre half. I'm just saying people are just doing a little bit too much. He's good, man. He's still got to earn some strike. People are talking as if like he's stamped and ready. Hey, listen, let's just cool down the hype a little bit. You know what I mean?
Tapped into super chats.
You didn't say you say the Rashford record. Oh yeah, sorry. And Rashford 9 in a row. Give him a round of applause.
Van Nistelrooy.
Nah, it's some next old guy now.
Some home record, innit? Yeah.
No, but he said 2 records. There was the Van Nistelrooy one he did, and then it's the old guy one as well.
Rashford.
Hey, someone needs to spread that Vardy one.
Oh, 11 games in a row.
No, that's
tough.
real
We need
mastery.
someone else, man.
That's real
tough. Not
mastery.
even Haaland can do that,
couldn't
man.
even do it. I want to go into City, and I want you to go into Rashford, but let's quickly do some super chats because we know we've got a lot of fans. I know there's bare people. I know we hit 2K at one point. If we're not there, let's go back there again. Keep retweeting, keep sharing. But let's get some of these super chats in.
I was gonna say, Orange said, not gonna lie, the Mudryk move was so forced. Mudryk wanted Arsenal, should have gone there.
Soulless.
Says,
People seem to forget that it's not all down to players' preference all the time.
I'm sorry, your hand signs that contract. I don't give a shit about what your agent agrees. You make the final decision.
Now, one thing I would say is, though, come on, the one thing I would say is turning down like over 70 grand a week. Come on, nobody's doing that.
Hey, man.
Come on, nobody's doing that. I'm turning down over 70 grand.
I'm like listen, money don't move me like that.
Yeah, fairs.
I don't know.
But he wants Daniel Levy to spend money, but money don't move him. Stay there with your dead players, then. If money don't move, you don't buy anyone then. Money don't move you. Don't do that. You don't buy anyone then. West Ham don't get them, man. Pay them, man. But money don't move me. You take 300 mil to change your team. No, money moves you, boy.
If you get to play for the club you love for a less deal. Listen, footballers don't earn peanuts. Footballers don't earn peanuts. Let's be real.
How about you just want to leave Ukraine? How about that?
So
if you just want to leave Ukraine, don't do all that twerking.
No, but he's twerking because he wants to leave now.
Hey, you were twerking a little too hard for a particular nigga,
Listen,
and he ended up with another one.
Listen, if I was in Ukraine, I would twerk harder than that. I can't lie.
If Spurs wanted you for 40k a week, yeah, and then Man City wanted you for 125k a week,
Which Spurs are you talking about? This one?
Spurs right now,
Your
bro.
Spurs, your beloved club.
Spurs.
Aside Spurs.
Yeah.
The man that said Harry Kane to leave, yeah?
Bro, innit?
The man that said, go with something. Go with something.
Hey, is this mess? No. Same
Come on, man.
You see the war scenes that Shakhtar tweeted yesterday, bro. This dude's just trying to get out there, bro.
Bro, that's what I'm saying, man. You man are not deep in
Arsenal's
it.
great, but I ain't dying for this shit, bro. There's no way.
You man are saying that he's only played so X and X amount of league games because they keep having to stop the league because everything's getting bombed down, bro. He's trying to get out of there, man. Bro, it's free now. Just make sure you look after your brothers.
Look at this guy trying to prop his signings, bro. You weren't there clapping him up today. That's why I was so quiet.
No comment.
See, they're quiet now, yeah?
What does that even mean? I was there chopping him up. I tweeted. I said, welcome. I said, well done, admin. I like
listen.
that. Come on, man.
I've already laughed at his
double
tattoos, bruv. Man's got talent ain't enough on his neck. I'm like, yeah.
What other super chats you got?
Chelsea fans will get on to Mudryk before Arsenal fans do. Elf fans from Orange.
Facts.
And Chuds also says Rashi with 1 year left on his deal. Bring him to the Emirates.
Didn't he sign an extension?
No, I remember this season, in the start of this season, Lippy, I think it was, Lippy did a tweet saying, man will take Rashford light. Arsenal fans cooked him. Rashford at Arsenal. Thanks, no thanks, no thanks, no thanks. Yeah, I bet you'll take him now. And listen, we're gonna talk soon too. We're gonna talk soon. We already got one lick on you guys.
What else you got there?
That's it.
Okay, cool. With City, I think City get away with not speaking on players' performances because of the club they are. Bernardo Silva this season, I am so sorry.
I'm so glad Mays went there.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. It's not. It's what's going on. If this was any other Big Six club and someone that's so pivotal was performing at this, the media would plaster their face everywhere and will be just daily lashings. He's not been at it. People are gonna. What's happening with City for me at the moment is you got people like is it Ditya Haman saying that Haaland can score 400 goals, but he's making them worse. No, what's happened is you've got this guy who's come in and City have adapted the way they play so much that it's now his fault. See, when they had their joy, it was because this guy was running behind and what was KDB doing? He was spazzing the crosses. When he's making these runs now, like I said, because he's coming deep and everything, and teams are dropping off. Why isn't Bernardo Silva able to play the cute through ball in anymore? Why am I not seeing those passes that he was a master at all the time? Why is KDB not able to do through balls? Why is he just trying to spam crosses in now?
City don't play folk.
City don't play. You were saying that it got on top for you second half. For me personally, watching that game,
not on top, only 15-minute phase. Then they got the goal.
Even in the 50 minutes for me when I was watching that, City don't suffocate teams with the ball like they used to.
Yeah. No.
You can play City now, and if you were playing them, you'd be like, this doesn't feel uncomfortable anymore. Yeah. The same way that Liverpool lost their press after doing it for 4 or 5 years, City have lost the ability to pass teams to death. All of that possession, and you're not penetrating, not doing anything. It's like foreplay ball at the moment. So nothing's happening.
Do you know what I think the main thing is though? I think it's where you've got guys like Bernardo Silva not firing on all cylinders. Let's say Haaland. A couple games he's not scoring or whatever, and with him I think it's a thing where if he's not scoring, are you really feeling his impact? Foden, he's a little bit hit and miss, or he's either really good.
Well, Foden got 7 goals this season, and we haven't seen him since the goals.
Mahrez, he kind of floats in and out of games. But
that was bare sassy. That was bare sassy.
Sassy men era. Oh man, we in a sassy men pandemic.
Mahrez ain't giving, man.
Hey, you know what? Well played. That's world class.
What used to happen with City is when players like that are kind of underperforming or not on their hot patch. Oh, Sterling come in. Yep. Oh, Jesus come in. Yep. Oh, Zinchenko come in. I felt like with those 3 losses that Cam's touched on earlier, they lost that quality depth that they had, and now it's like Alvarez or Grealish. It's like it's not really hitting the same. And listen, he came on and got the goal, but it's like I don't know. I look at their bench and I'm like, Cole Palmer's not moving me. I'm sorry, he's not scaring me. Saying Rico Lewis, it's nice, it's cute, but come on, man. Like City used to be scary coming off the bench. Like fucking hell, they got these 4 man to come on.
Well, for me, it's nothing about, man. It's nothing about
another wave, and now they don't have that. It seems a little bit like. Oh, Haaland's not going to score today. Yeah. But we can get it.
But when I watch it, it's
and that's what I felt with you lot. Because just as the game kept ticking, and you were like, they can be got at. They're not going to come out.
When we played, of course, that it didn't end because Kepa thing, whatever. But when we played, as soon as you dropped that line, because when everyone watched Haaland in Germany, it was like, why are they defending like this? Yeah. Why are they doing this? And in the first few weeks, long ball coming in. Why are we doing this? Suddenly, I don't remember what team it was, but everyone said, if you defend as a team and drop deep, there's no space for him to run into. And it's not that with him, his challenge is going to be, how do I adapt my game now that people have sort of realised that this is a thing. With City, what I see personally is this over-reliance on, okay, he's dead, let's just cross it into him. There's more pass selection than a cross. Where's the through ball? Where's this and that? And that's why I look at KDB. I look at Silva because these are the players that were capable of doing those things. there's no way that anyone can watch that game and tell me that Haaland still didn't make good runs that could have been found with passes. Silva's going to Cancelo every day. It's like they don't have the ability to do cute passes or suffocate people anymore.
And also the defensive pairing. I feel like the centre-back pairing, chopping and changing every week. No matter what top team you are, that is one position I feel like you can't have much movement. You can move your wingers around or whatever. Centre-back pairing has to be like every week it's Akanji, Laporte, Stones and Aki, Aki and Diaz. You don't know which it is. It's a roll of the dice, and I'm like, at some point I feel like that's gonna cause a little bit of confusion between the players, but I don't know. Defensively they haven't looked the same.
I mean, look, you're talking about Bernardo Silva, but you got to think about it. At this exact stage, I think last season, didn't he just score that mad goal against Watford? And
where he just danced.
He scored like some kind of like half volley kind of
like
thing.
The best midfielder in the league last year.
At this point, exactly last season, people were saying player of the year. Remember, Salah was going crazy. People were like, hold on, no.
Look at
Bernardo's the key this season.
He's not at the same level.
And his level has dropped so low. You're talking about Son's level of dropping, Salah's level of dropping. You look at Bernardo Silva's has dropped majorly. You look at KDB, of course he's getting the assists and stuff, but is it easier to play against KDB now than it ever has been? Yes, it is. Like, he's pretty much vacating the midfield now completely. I've always said that anyway, but you're starting to see a lot more because they have a Haaland in there. So what he's thinking is, but I've got no joy here. I'm going to go to that right half space and I'll try and send a cross in. And that's what Man United exposed. We identified the key to stop City is Rodri. You cut off his passing zone, passing lanes, that he can fire the ball in between the lines to KDB, and then he does his next thing. City ain't got much. Bernardo's not going to do much. Gundogan's not going to do much anymore. He's probably on his kind of decline now as well.
30 to 33 bracket where they're slowing down as well.
You got to remember, this team have been together for a long time. Obviously, there's been a couple changes, blah, 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 but it's the same kind of... Pep has made winners for like 6-7 years or whatever it is. So naturally, as football moves on, you're going to have to make some change there. When you're looking at this Man City team, I don't think they've got, even when you're playing against them, the legs ain't there. Remember, City used to suffocate you, and it used to be peak and energy. Even though they had these small people, it used to be energetic all around you. It's not really like that anymore. And yes, of course, Haaland has scored so many goals. I cannot blame necessarily Haaland for what's going on with Man City. But it's not about they're looking for Haaland too much. The thing is, they just think that's the only... It's coming like that's the only way they can score, bro. That they're thinking they can score. Yeah. Why is Foden getting chalk on his boots? This is meant to be one of them clever, inside, jinky runners.
Yeah. Jinky.
I'm seeing him getting touchline, trying to take Wan-Bissaka on 1v1. I'm like, brother, that's food and drink.
That's bro.
You know what I mean? That's food and drink. You know what I mean?
Mbappe's had tough days there, man.
You know what I mean? Come on, man. You got to do something different. So when I'm seeing all of that, I just think the level of the Man City players have dropped a little bit. But don't get it twisted. They're a quality team with the best manager. They can still go and probably win this league potentially. But it is
they're going to have to find new solutions.
I'm telling you, all season, let's just not say that, all season Arsenal have been the best team in the country. Better than City. Of course, those 2 games that they have is going to be really telling. But the level of each individual player at Man City, Cancelo, thanks Phil and thanks Liez, but Cancelo completely...
That one over there.
Completely fell off a cliff. Walker's obviously in and out of injuries. Bernardo's not it. Gundogan. We're looking at this team and
Edison's making a lot of mistakes.
They're struggling to find inspiration.
I want to ask a quick question, because we talk about Liverpool, right? And we talk about that circle being so long, and then their team just they've completely gone by the wayside. But would you say that competing or that sort of sparring match may have taken so much out of them?
City Pool. The City Pool era.
Yeah. Do you reckon that might have taken a lot out of them?
It happens. I think we've seen it even with Barcelona, with Madrid teams. Like, once you go through kind of like a period of greatness, if you like, there always comes that mental dip period.
Of course.
Can we maintain? Because you know how hard it is to maintain that level of motivation, determination.
Even in we are tired. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Pep, they're tired. They're actually tired.
Pep has to, and Pep, to his credit, he's found ways to keep rejuvenating the team, to keep going, and that's where Cam's right. You can't rule him out, but it's just so funny to me seeing Pep's sons, if you like, in Arteta and Ten Hag.
We ain't no son, man.
Hey.
We ain't no son.
Hey.
We ain't no son.
You was a son.
We ain't no son.
You was a son.
We're
older than him.
No. He's so older than him. He's struggling for motivation.
I'm like,
but how can your son be older than you?
Huh?
How can your son be older than you?
Hey, listen, sometimes, you know what I mean?
Start late. You start late, innit? You know what I'm saying?
You know the ones that you got like an uncle. That's that. Your nephew.
held back in school.
Do you know what it is? So look, the thing is, one thing is that obviously everyone's allowed to have, well, everyone can have bad seasons. Man United had it under Fergie, whatever. You can have bad seasons. But my thing is,
This is a bad season.
No, exactly. My thing is though, it's just the eye test, bro. Like one thing that people don't like to do when it comes to Man City is say what they see because they just think, oh, in the end, City are going to win the league anyway. But
Two
in the
things can
moment,
coexist.
you can talk about what you're seeing.
And it's not
this
looking
is
great.
easily this crop of City players or this squad, this team at the moment. It's the worst City since 16-17.
Since the first season Pep took over?
Since the first season Pep took over, this for me is the worst City. Yeah. In terms of how they play, watching them, it's so boring watching
When they
Man
had
City.
that collar of cliche and that.
Yeah, that was dreadful. But once they started building from 17-18 on it was fake. But now this City is dry to watch. It's not lit. You're not motivated. You're watching Foden, who's meant to be the best talent since Wayne Rooney in England, and to watch, he's boring to watch now. Mahrez, yeah, we know you're gonna bring it down from the sky. You're gonna do 2 chops. It's boring. Everything is just boring with Man City. That's all it is. They can still go on and win the league, as I said. But this is just not
Two things
entertaining. It's not the Man City. I don't think Pep looks at this team and says, "Oh, this is me. This is my blueprint." I've seen him in the media always say like, "Oh, the character. Oh, we came to the stadium and oh my god, the way I just got to congratulate them." Oh, but allow it, man. You ain't fooling us, man. You ain't fooling us. Now, come and give us our red wine, man. You know what I mean? Come and give us our red wine.
The question I ask both of you is: do you think they've got enough within them to crawl this league back?
It's possible, man. When you've got Haaland, when you got KDB, when you got Rodri,
Snapshot, yes or no?
They can. They got 2 games against Arsenal. That's
Facts,
where it's all about.
I think
You
there's
agree?
that. Yeah, I agree. You can never rule City out. But then also, I think in one aspect, they're looking at the Champions League more this year.
They
Well,
better
that's what
win it.
Haaland's in for.
Listen, this is what the big man came in for. I think that's where, even if Premier League Arsenal, all right, you can take that. If we get the
Champions
Champions League, we ain't complaining this year.
Nah,
type of
hear
thing,
it. We
so.
got any super chats?
Nah, none.
Alright, cool. Let's go into it. Whilst you're here, like, share, subscribe, notifications on. We mentioned Liverpool. I want to mention them before we go into Chelsea because the Battle of Mid is next week, which is going to be very interesting. But
That's killing me.
what, the Battle of Mid?
Battle of mid.
Bro, for all that Chelsea are going through, we'll be level 1
Hey,
point
Mudryk debut, bruv. Don't tell me no mid,
against
bruv.
Trent.
Ooh, you got a chance to put yourself
Listen.
in the news.
Oh my days. Oh my days.
Jinky.
Listen.
Jinky.
Did Detro play today?
Nah.
He don't even know which Fafana I'm talking about. So I'm saying, see,
No.
just
Do you know-
signing
do you know
players, he don't even know.
Do you know I like
You don't know
Fofana?
his
He came to London. He's not got a trim rate. He's focused. I like his mentality. No
Okay,
HD
looking like
cuts.
Who?
No hate for Fofana. No striker Fofana. No HD cuts. No man said he's looking. He said that Fofana looks like you could do that.
Oh, you caught that?
Yeah, man, you're dumb.
Patrick Beverly over there, yeah?
Hey, whoever that was in the comments, I'ma get you.
Oh my gosh. Liverpool came up against Brighton, who I must say, by the way, the Zebri ball. It moves me. I like it.
Does it?
Brighton have they've gone up.
Yeah.
They play a lot better than they were under Potter.
Alright, come on, now they're disrespecting Potter's legacy.
No, I'm saying-
Oh, we're nice. They're nice on the pot. Dude, come on, man.
Now they got Potter, they trying to treat him like shit.
I think he's playing better football right now. Yes
I
or
think
no?
that's debatable. Potter plays some scintillating football, bro, at Brighton.
Let us know in the comments if you think right now, this moment, if Brighton not playing better football.
Prisoners of the moment, you know what I mean? He's drowning. What I'm saying is that he's drowning now at Chelsea. His rep is a bit down. They're going to remember. They're just going to think about, you know what I mean?
I'm just saying, Brighton right now, they're playing better football. Yes or no? That's what I'm saying. Like I said, when you're presenting with the information, you can say it. I'm just saying, if they're playing better football right now, they should let us know. But I think right now, they're playing really good football. Not that they wasn't playing bad football before, but right now, the football they're playing is great, as we saw against
I don't know
Liverpool.
if I can see that much of a substantial
Let me say,
difference.
son, how
That's
many
the thing.
times did we see Brighton under Potter fail to score goals? They create all these chances. Under De Zerbi, they look clinical.
I hear that,
They
but
look real clinical.
I was always one that said that at Potter at Brighton, I felt like they played top 3 football in the league with Man City and Arsenal.
But they just like to kill
And
her.
then they just lacked, yeah, exactly. They played good football, man.
No,
They played good
I'm not disputing. I'm just saying right now, in this moment, it's like he's looked at that and said, okay, let me add this.
He's taking it to another level with players like March scoring and things like that. I think
man's
I've
getting
never
the breaks.
seen March
That
scoring this
finish
many
is
goals,
beautiful.
bro.
That finish is
I was
beautiful.
like, even the last couple of
Welbeck's
weeks.
goal, where did that come from?
Ooh, Danny, hey.
With the knee slide as well. He influenced it.
Bro, that
But,
shit was nasty.
Klopp, looks agitated.
Good.
Good. Man said.
Trent is tweeting, "We've got to do better. We will do better."
We lent him our PR team. Yeah, hold that, man.
Hey, Rashford.
Yeah, you're not gonna have that now, man.
more for you.
What we're doing this over here, man. You guys can have that.
That might be-
apology
Hey,
notes.
You've had that celebration?
That celebration's
I'm loving
hard.
I'm loving
That
it.
celebration is hard.
It's
That celebration is so hard.
Cam started doing this. All of this one shit. Rashford started going.
I've actually been doing this for a while, though.
Keep doing it.
No, and you know what I saw? Yeah, you see, who did we play midweek? Charlton, is it?
Yeah.
Play Charlton. Bro, he started winding it up.
Yeah, man
He started
did.
doing this.
Lock off. I'm going lock
I'm
off.
like, yeah.
It's not even local, it's
I
I'm
can
tapped
vibe with
in.
the wind up
I'm
now.
tapped
You
in.
know Ronaldo used to do this.
Yeah.
Rash knows what he's doing, bro.
He adds the knees like that, Robert, man does the, and then does this.
He knows what he's doing.
Nah, it's maybe, but Liverpool are in a sticky position. I think this game coming up against Chelsea will be very, very interesting because both teams are just that.
Yeah.
It's spooky.
What's your feeling for the game? Confident or nervous? you
Each
should
time
have-
we've been losing, I've been saying our season starts the next fixture. So because we beat Palace, I feel like we've got a bit of momentum.
Now you got a bit of momentum.
I think
Who's
so.
at home?
I actually don't know. It's a good question. Production,
Check.
who's at home for that game?
For who?
For Liverpool Chelsea. Can you enlighten us, please?
I think it's Liverpool.
Anfield. Oh, if we can go Anfield and get a result. MUDRYK'S debut.
Listen, at the moment, I'll allow Chelsea because we went in on them.
Anfield.
We went in on
12:30
Chelsea.
kickoff as well.
Ooh, we went in on Chelsea last week.
No, what-
So
the
it's
thing
not,
is, we have
they
to-
need to-
Anfield early kickoff.
Okay.
yeah, we went in on Chelsea last week.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's much to really say. You come off a win. Obviously, we just spoke about Mudryk anyway.
Yeah. I think
But
with the main thing with the main conversation around Chelsea now is not even about what's happening on the pitch. It's more so everything around. And a lot of people are like, what's going on with the spending? What's the plan there and everything?
FTBL culture episode coming out on Chelsea.
You done
Make
one,
sure
yeah?
you're tapped in. Ooh,
Sick,
it's
sick,
nice.
sick.
It's a nice one. Nice one.
Nice. My whole
watching
thing
that.
on it is, I'm still a bit confused by it all. I feel like in terms of Cucurella is not started the last two games. Lewis Hall started. Koulibaly came on to play left back at the end of the game this week. So it looks like Potter's made his mind up about him. And that's your former manager. That's telling. Koulibaly got dropped for Benoit today. Benoit had a good performance. A lot of people are waxing about the performance. Let's stay calm. But he had a good performance. It feels like those are the two signings out of the whole portfolio that people are looking at and being like, these ones were bad. You shouldn't have done these ones.
Yeah.
Bear in mind that City went in for... If we know we were talking about hijack boys, that was technically hijack boys, but no one talks about that one because that one we got wrong. City bid 40, we paid 62.
Oh yeah.
So
we
but
didn't
no one
forget.
talks about the hijack. Everyone's
no, no. I remember that
hijack.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of when the board came out recently and said that we are adjusting, I think they're admitting that those two signings were probably ones they shouldn't have done. In terms of the rest of the signings, I've got this image here. I don't know if the prices are exactly correct because they're in euros.
Well, we spent 421 million.
No, I'll read the profiles and everything.
I'm hearing. I saw Todd Bowley was in Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, it's probably.
He's
they said-
typing in, listening, like, who else can I
They
sign?
said-
Oh, they're gonna get me to sign Zuba Mendy or whoever this name is coming out. They're gonna get me to
God.
sign this person.
Bro,
Bruh.
how do you think Nkunku was signed?
You know what I mean? What you think he
Nkunku was
sa-
signed purely off
I know
Twitter.
Bowley searches his name. Bowley. He's gonna see me all over the
Oh,
place.
he see my tweets.
Bowley's blues. Bowley's blues.
Someone that was in that space. Someone in that space said that when they mentioned Declan Rice, he left the space.
No,
which
that's too
is too rude.
That's too
But
rude. That's
in
too rude.
terms
That's
of-
my dog there, man.
Real
Happy,
talk.
happy birthday yesterday, man.
But in
Shout out
terms, in
him.
terms of the signings, in price order, it goes Mudryk 100 million euros, Wesley Fofana for 80 million, Cucurella for 65, Raz for 56, Benoit 38, Koulibaly 38, Carney for 18, Cesar, who's playing in the under 23s from Inter Milan, who looks pretty decent, 15. That Andre Santos was 12, Aubameyang was 12, Fofana 12, 11 for the loan for Felix.
God damn.
Then yeah, so that's a lot of money. But the thing
No, it is a lot. That's 468 million.
but you know what, dude? What concerns me is Aubameyang was bought. Yeah, Aubameyang was bought. Didn't work out. You bought Fofana for the same price. Okay, interesting. Koulibaly was bought. Not too keen in. You buy Benoit for the same price. It's like they're already correcting stuff that they've done wrong within the space of what, 2
Was
windows?
that good or bad?
Bro, that's concerning. Why didn't you just get it right the first time? Do you get what I'm coming from? It's good that they're trying to correct it, but we're gonna have a massive car boot sale in summer.
Oh yeah.
That car boot sale is gonna be mad. You might only be able to get like 80 mil for like 15 players.
Even like how Mudryk has been signed for 100 million. He's coming off the left, right? What was Sterling?
No,
People are saying Sterling will go on the right or something.
we have so many left wingers.
Get down the line and put the ball in, mate.
So no, Sterling turned into David Beckham all of a sudden. The fuck?
So it's like
bowling Super Bowl moves.
So it's like, the reason why it's
Wide receivers, bro. You know what I mean? He needs his quarterback. Yo, that Jorginho, bro.
no, but Jorginho probably won't sign a new contract. Kante probably won't sign a new contract. So then you got about centre mid. It's like we spent a load of money, but
Casado's on the way. Casado might be on the way.
For 75 million, I'm seeing.
bro,
He better be 2 times of prime Kante.
Where is FFP?
That's the thing. I think you lot are doing all these signings right now, though, to avoid FFP, because that's why you're doing the long-term contracts. And in 2, you got to remember, you guys are probably not going to be in Champions League next season.
Yeah, so you can take a
and Chelsea ain't the most self-sufficient club. You're like a sole owner club.
Yeah.
So if
Well, that's a consortium.
if you miss next season, but you know what I mean? The money comes from
One
ownership.
place, yeah.
If you lot miss the Champions League next season and you try and move like this, I don't reckon. So I reckon next season you might have like, in the summer, you might have, let's say, 100 mil budget, but then the rest is gonna have to come from sales.
Yeah. No, there's
You can't move like how you're moving now.
No way.
In the summer,
way. There's literally going to be.
You'll be reaching $1 billion.
You know when you ask me.
In 1 year.
In how many windows? In 2 windows, we spent nearly as much as Liverpool spent in 5 years. Nearly as much as you guys have spent in the period as well.
Spurs' entire net spend for the last 20 years.
So it's like that car boot sale. You know when you ask me who would I sell? All of those guys might actually be sold. I actually saw an article come out a few days after saying that the club are looking to clean people out. So my influence on the club is felt. But anyway,
Go tell us that face. Go say it to that face.
I'll be there in the offices. But, I mean, winning against Palace, you just got to get points on the board at this point in the season. I don't know what our targets for the rest of the season are. I don't think we can claw back top 4. I think it's too far gone. But you can just hope that you can start a run. I don't think Potter is going to get sacked. I think he's been backed. So, yeah, we see how it goes from here. I want us to beat Liverpool. I want us to go on a run. But the Mudryk signing, what my opinions on it? He's a nice player. His Champions League performances that I saw were good. Standing ovation, as production said in pre-production, at the Bernabeu. Like, the talent's there. Have you overpaid? Yeah, but could he be one of those players that's like a real, like, ooh. Yeah, I mean, he might be the only man at a club.
Got X Factor.
Yeah, he's got X Factor. He's got X Factor. For me, he's got X Factor. But I mean, bro, but I moved the hijacking. Listen, Arsenal, you were doing Emirates, 3 stripes, Adidas for João, Mudryk. Tuck your chain in, tuck your watch in, man. you be taking that shit out there, boy. That's a tuck your transfers away. Tuck your transfers away, boy.
But obviously, I mean, obviously we know about Chelsea, what's going on at Chelsea, but Liverpool, this cannot be ignored. You know what I mean? I know we're running over probably soon with the time, but bro, Liverpool are shocking. It is shocking. And I've said yesterday, let's start speaking about Klopp. You know what I mean? I'm seeing them talk about Pep Linders. I'm hearing them speak about the youth players in Carvalho and Elliott. I'm hearing them speak about everyone but Klopp. It needs to start being answered. The guy isn't managing this squad well, in my opinion. He had opportunities to refresh it. He didn't. You know what I mean? He said that he felt like he knew it all, then tried to come back and apologize or whatever. Then, in the midst of all this, yes, I understand. You have Diaz out, you have Jota out, you sign Gakpo. Hey,
the fans
you guys can have that one, by the way.
Fans are turning already.
You man can have that one, you know what I'm saying? But you sign Gakpo, but still, I think Liverpool could have got away still with a less attacker if they had a better midfield.
Yes.
And again, you did not sign a midfielder. Is a midfielder going to come into this January? I do not believe so. If this is some whole build up to sign Jude Bellingham, we know Liverpool are not a team that spends so much. Jude Bellingham's looking like at least 100 million. All right, cool, you bring in Jude Bellingham. What about the rest of the squad? What about the Van Dijk, who's going to be injured again? He's not going to be what he was. So what are you going to look to recruit in that department?
Chamberlain's
what about Robertson's not at his peak no more? You're still seeing Oxlade-Chamberlain out there. What about Henderson, Milner? These are a lot of things that Liverpool have to refresh. So I know a lot of Liverpool fans are really thinking, oh, do you know what? This is a down season this year. We'll be back next year. There's no guarantee. As we're talking about car boot sale, there's a lot of guys that shouldn't be playing for Liverpool anymore. Bro, and there's a lot of guys that they're still relying on
that shouldn't be
that are not at the standard. And I don't even know if they're the standard to come off the bench. We're talking about all this. Fabinho's getting all the stick. somebody keeps saying, bro, you need to watch Thiago. He's not doing anything. I'm like, I thought, let me watch him. I was like, he might be right. He might be running around doing it. He might be tricking me, you know. I'm gonna allow him because I like his personality to try and get on the ball and stuff. Yeah, I like his mentality. But again, he's not. He hasn't. Has he raised that? Is he raised?
He was last season.
No.
If we was going for the
whole
Liverpool
team
team,
wasn't. The whole team
no,
isn't.
I'm saying in
They're just
general.
too easy. They're just sorry, bro. They're just too easy to play against. When you look at Liverpool, it's easy to run through them. They haven't got the energy no more. They haven't got the legs. It's so easy. And one thing about them, they're looking shut now. They're looking shut. One goal goes in. Nah, this is long. And what I was saying earlier as well. I'm talking about their key players.
Yeah.
Salah, Trent, Fabinho, Alisson, all of these guys. VVD, he's gone now, but these guys are not standing up and being counted for these mentality monsters, for the guys that have been here for so long. Because as much as we say whatever we want about City, they're still at the top of the table. Yeah. These Liverpool players have just kind of like down tools, in my opinion. And you're looking at Salah, bro. I don't know what that brother's doing out there anymore. And you know what? I actually said at the start of the season, I'm going to stop talking about Salah because my job here is done. I've seen enough. Everyone's seen enough. And he's just now going to go and do this. I'm like, hey, I feel like coming back to that one. But I'm alive. But look at him.
A couple weeks ago, we sat here and I said, if your goalkeeper is like your informed player or your stand-up player, you have an issue. I mean, Alisson still looks like the one guy that's actually trying. But even when you look at, again, with Klopp, it is... Now we have to start having the conversation about, is that 7-year thing actually true? Because every manager has a pattern that we look at something. With Pep, we always say he's overthinking in certain moments. With Tuchel, it was like, with Conte, it's like, has he got the ability to adapt in Europe? With Klopp, again, 7 years. Have you reached that point where you can't make phase 2 of your team?
That's more of what it is. Whether it's 7 years, 8 years, 9 years.
Can you make version 2 of your team? And if you can't, what needs to happen then?
That's what it is.
What I think it almost is, though, I think it's almost he trusts and love. Like Klopp's benefits and what makes him good is also what's killing him. That love and bond that he loves to build with the players, the hugging as soon as he got there, you're my guy, and those players willing to die because that's where the running came from. That's where those extra yards came from.
But bro, that's so sick.
And that's what
they've died.
100%. But this is where love and loyalty fucks up. Because in competition, bro, he should be seen. And that's where Fergie was a killer. Fergie will love you, respect you, but when it's time to go, have to be a cop. Beckham, King, Van Nistelrooy. 3 legends when you talk about United. 3 guys who embodied at that time what United were. He said, pack your bags. The very next day you got to go. I see Ronaldo, and this was noodle head, spaghetti, but I see potential, and I'm going to build on that. Klopp I feel like doesn't have that kind of ruthlessness about the guys he loves. Henderson, you're going to get a new contract. You passed the bleak test, you're going to get a new contract. Don't worry, Van Dijk, you're off form. Yeah. Ahead of Matip and Konate.
But don't you find it strange that in that same instance, like he was easy to let Ginny go, and he was easy to let Mane go?
I think Ginny was one where he thought maybe we can lose him because I've still got the other core pieces. And I think he looked at Thiago, he's like, I've got a little bit of an upgrade there. I've got Fabinho still there, and Henderson, Milner can still come. I've got Curtis Jones coming through. At that time as well, you're looking at those 2 old boys could potentially fall off. Curtis Jones could potentially break through. Thiago could potentially be the wrinkle in our team. All of that potential things have gone the other way. They've gone wrong. And that's where your trust and loyalty, at that point you should be like, you know what, in January, cool. Henderson, Milner, this shit is over. I'm getting a Nunes, whatever it is, whoever it is. But
and that's the one thing about Liverpool, as I mentioned about playing easy, it's easy to play against them. One thing when you used to play against Liverpool is that, bro, it's going to be a long day, bro. It is going to be a long day. Watching your team play against Liverpool was hell, bro. It was long. The way they would surround you, the way they would, obviously, you know, club doctor, all that talk about
asthma pumps.
Asthma pumps. It was like they could never stop running. Do you know what I mean? They were like the Russia team in 2018. It was, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. As I said, they were like Stopovich at the World Tournament in Dragon Ball Z. Like they were pumped. They were pumped to something different. Let me tell you that.
She said no inhalers.
Yeah, but now I'm telling you, now it's just so easy. And the thing is, we have to talk about that. We talked about Conte. I just don't see Klopp trying enough different things to switch it up. Maybe, do you know what? I'm just going to go 3 at the back today. I'm going to try and see if I can get Trent a little bit more forward in attacking it. I don't know, maybe I'll limit his weakness of getting cooked. Or let me put Carvalho in the 10, or Salah's going to go 9, or I just don't see anything. Bro, I'm telling you, if Man City were going on the form, and Manchester United, and even probably Arsenal, going on the form that Liverpool are on, bro, I swear one day you'll see Cancelo playing up front. Pep will do something. He will try anything to change it. He will be doing everything. Ten Hag as well, but Ten Hag has already done that. Yeah. But when I see Klopp, it's just the same thing. Do you know what makes me laugh over again?
So I was having this conversation
for a couple of weeks. Do you remember?
And they started cooking.
And they started
4-4-2.
Yeah.
And then the World Cup came. He went back 4-3.
Before we go to champs and duds, the reason why that point is it's so profound to me is because I was having conversations. I was saying, if I was Potter in his situation, all of these guys that you think are not playing with you, play with the youngsters. Like Carney started today and everything, but people were saying that
ruthlessness.
Yeah, but he hasn't. But what people are saying for Potter is he hasn't got that credit in the bank, and if he does that, it's put more pressure because if the results don't go his way, they're going to turn. Klopp, you have all the credit in the world. If you tried something completely different, no one's going to say anything.
Yeah. You get that by period.
Conte, like, in a way, you're not bigger than the club, but everyone knows you're this serial. If you try something different, no one's going to complain. They're going to encourage it. So it's funny how the managers that actually have the freedom and flexibility to do stuff don't. Like, no one's going to moan if Liverpool try a 3-4-3 when they're like 8th in the league. With
but is that also then like the greatness of those managers that's got them to what they are?
Principles,
like, you know what? Nah, this is what's got me here. Blah, blah, blah. And that kind of stubbornness is kind of what's killing you.
You've got to understand it. Start of the season, Ten Hag started with Eriksen 9. And then he went Eriksen 6. We got cooked again. He said, I ain't ever acting like that again. I ain't ever behaving like that again.
That 6th one was crime.
Bro,
that was a crime.
Yeah, we got cooked by Brentford in that one. Listen, anyway, let's
go into champs and duds because we've done we've spoken about a lot of stuff this week. Should we go?
What's the Madrid score right now?
2-0 Barca.
What?
They're cooking them.
They laughed about
he's good with the league, innit? We got something for them at the Camp Nou. Who scored?
Gavi and Loa.
Hey, they laughed at Gavi and said, he just runs around and fights people. Yeah.
Bro, they laughed at
You didn't even
Madrid.
You don't even know what the goal looks like.
They wear, bro. Hold that hammer.
Is Benzema playing?
Yeah.
He got his Ballon d'Or. He said that's me done.
The streets have got his Ballon d'Or. He's been cooked. He's back on being an IG baddie.
Yeah,
he's back in the streets, bro.
Ancelotti, for me, you go to court next week. He's coming with me.
Do you know who else might have to come? Vinny.
Talk about curse. You're always talking about my Cancelo curse. Vinny and Dembele since you made that video.
What is the next call?
We'll see.
We'll let them know. We'll let them know.
Yeah, we need that.
Hey, production, I'm not gonna lie. Is there any professor vacancies at good university?
Carlo, we need a lecturer.
Carlo and Conte are going for them.
Champs and duds. Should we go duds first? Duds first or champs first?
Let's do good. Champs
first.
Who are my champs? I saw something during the week. My man, Lucas Perez scored in his debut for Deportivo after doing his thing.
You said that he went there, innit?
And then his debut got a brace for them, so hold at him. That's champ worthy. What else happened?
I've got to give a champ to. Obviously good. Is it even champ anymore? Brighton are legit moving better than Liverpool nowadays, so I don't even know if I can say that.
I'll give one to. They lost today. Fulham.
Yeah.
I'll give one to Fulham.
6th place is ridiculous. Bro.
Yeah.
9 points to the magic 40 to stay up.
Yeah, and even this is the most the promoted side's got at this point ever. I think something like that.
Crazy.
Ridiculous.
They went under the radar, bro.
Marco Silva as well. Remember when they ran him out of England? Remember when they ran him out of England? Nah, this guy's rubbish. He came back.
Everton are a sick club. We'll get them in the dud.
Yeah.
That is a sick football club, bro.
Hey, that
is a sick football club. They have done criminal things over the years, bro. Oh my
That's insane.
days, bro. That club.
Man said putting club directors in a full Nelson.
Bro, I'm telling you.
You're walking to the box, full
woman.
Nelson. Nah, that's ridiculous.
It's disgusting, man.
You know what? Yeah, I don't even care about champs anymore. Let's go straight. That is Everton Football Club. Are they like one of the only clubs that have never been relegated, isn't it?
Yeah, they're one of the
Everton
of the four, I believe, clubs that have never been relegated, along with Arsenal and there was. I need to check that back. I think it's only Arsenal and Everton.
If Everton go down,
They need to go down.
this is complete doddery. This is
I can't lie, though, bro.
This is no, you understand? This is complete
No,
doddery.
bro, you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I kind of want them to go. I kind of want Everton to go down because I like these traditional clubs and they're obviously one of the most traditional.
The school
But
of science.
bro, come on, back. Like over the years, they've been the fakest imposters. They have been the biggest imposters to. We might break into the top 4 one day.
I was saying this last year.
You're phonies, mate. You're phonies. You had the opportunity, it didn't happen, or whatever. Gerrard went and won the Champions League for Liverpool and they got peaked. All right, cool. That was unlucky with Moyes. But after that, they just started throwing money. Bill Kenwright, whoever it is, they're throwing so much
Yeah,
money.
the Russian guy as well.
I don't think over the last 15 years there's been a club that has had more busts than Everton. When you look at when they've signed, but where the hell is Gylfi Sigurdsson?
Listen, set man, we can't speak on it. But
Alright, let me know
he's
you've been-
disappeared. Wait, man, I thought you were gonna talk about Davy Klassen and them. Man went straight to the man that we can't talk about. What's going on there? The one man we can't talk about.
cool.
You could have said Davy Klassen.
No, but it's not like
No, but I get you.
Let me bring up.
There's so many, and their appointments. Marco Silva went bust. I think Big Sam has been there twice.
Martinez.
Lampard. Martinez. Has he been there twice? He went there twice.
No,
with Martinez
he was there once.
Martinez.
Ronald Koeman.
Ronald Koeman.
Alright, cool. You guys.
They even made Ancelotti look a scrub. And he went and won the Champions League the next season. It is an unbelievable club.
Alright,
And
cool. You guys ready?
One
Okay.
sec. I saw Yerry Mina say, I would die for this club. He got in the car and said, psych.
He said, bro.
You understand what I'm
He
saying?
called his agent and said, bro, you get me back to into La Liga.
On the
please."
road, when man was saying, okay, you can do the accent.
What was that?
The Scouse accent. Man was saying, because you're good at accents. Are you going to die for this club? Are you going to die for this club? Listen,
I need you to stay. If we go down, are you gonna stay with us? Are you gonna stay with us? No, I don't think so. Why don't you back the boys? Raise the dressing room.
I will die for this football club.
and man, the Scouse guy said championship here. I'm sure Yeremina heard Champions League and thought, yeah.
I would die for
Stay for the champions.
And they're putting people in a headlock, bro. I remember one time, at QPR, bro, an Everton fan jumped over the kiosk and started smashing up the kiosk worker. I couldn't believe this shit. I was like, yo,
Asballs, man.
they need to get the hell out of it, man. Go beef Millwall or something, man.
You guys ready, yeah? The man that shall not be named here was 50 million. Richarlison, obviously, they made a bit of profit. He got signed for 39. Rom was alright, 35. Onana's doing alright, 35. Roby's doing alright, 30. Yeremina was 30. They had Balassi for 28. Malcolm Keane was 28. Pickford's alright. Moise Keane was 27. Ben Godfrey's still there, 27.
Moise Keane.
Yeah, it was 20.
Flipping now, bruv. He gave us a couple woes and dipped.
Yeah.
What the hell?
He won Player of the Month last year in Syria. So David Klassen was 27. This guy, I've not seen this guy. You know, Jean-Philippe,
Who the hell is that?
the guy that they bought from Mons.
Yeah.
Jean-Philippe Gabami.
Yeah.
But he had like 2 knee injuries back to back or something.
Andre
like that.
Gomez was another one they bought. Schneiderlin was another one they bought.
But they're all
Check
duds,
Tosin for
man. They're
20
all
minutes.
duds. Every time
I
duds,
don't
man.
know. Good sign.
And that has been good. But listen,
no,
I didn't like the way he was like, I'm him.
yeah.
I'm like, you're lost. You're going down. You're going down. What do you mean I'm him? You're going relegated.
Listen, man.
Into the championship.
That's like Buhari's suit.
No, not even that. That's like, remember that video of the guy that's doing the dunk? They're down like 30. I'm like,
You're down by 1,000 points.
bro, remember when Pat Bev,
Dude, you're down 1,000 points.
remember when Pat Bev said, oh, the next 5 years are mine? Steph Curry said, ain't you like 30? Like, yo, what are you talking about, bro? You like 30 years old?
Hey, man.
Listen,
I'm a real,
That's-
unanimous dud. There's no way, no matter how bad it gets in life, you cannot put club officials,
In a headlock.
especially women, in headlocks.
Come on,
That
man.
is insane. One guy came online, yeah, there's no footage. I don't give a toss.
Yo, 3-0, but Gavi again.
Oh boy, listen, man. But we're
they're
out of there,
fuming.
man. Next
They're
week you got
fuming.
some
You said
big
you got-
games.
you got
I was
them
gonna say duds, bruv. We ain't gonna let Juve get away with that.
Oh
Getting
my
slapped
word.
5-1 by Napoli.
Champs for Napoli.
Oh,
Champs
hell
for
no.
Napoli.
Napoli are champs for that.
Osimhen.
Top of the table, Osimhen, Kvisha, bro.
Yeah,
They're
Kvisha.
looking the truth. I was saying last week,
Best
hey,
team in Europe?
y'all might be some casuals.
Best,
They're looking the truth.
best team in Europe?
Them and Arsenal.
Hey,
I think this season
don't
they're
like
the
doing
best.
all
I
them
think this
titles.
season.
No, I'm saying in general. In terms of football, you see around Europe.
Let's see when Champions League kicks back again.
Okay,
man.
cool.
Let's see when Champions League. They're
I don't
doing well
see-
in the
come on,
Champions
man.
League this year.
You guys have got to give the boys.
Pedri scored, not Gavin.
I was gonna say as well. You lot don't want to give Arsenal.
Give me my champ
to the
of the week, man.
BGBs.
What are you talking about, man? Give me my champ. Give Rashford. Look, I got a long
what?
sleeve edition. You know what I mean? Because
From the
you know what I mean. It's getting. Yeah, of course, man. Of course. You know it's getting popular. The long sleeve. We're bringing long sleeve back. You know what I'm saying?
Say no
Champs
more.
of the week. Champ of the damn week.
Does João Felix get a dud?
Who?
Does João Felix get a
Of
dud?
course he's a
Red
dud
card.
for that. Of course João Felix is a
Debut where
dud.
you get sent off.
Of course he's a dud.
100%.
And you
Especially
know,
where you balled out as well and could have been the game changer, and then you go
you
do
know
some
Chelsea
dumb
have to,
challenge.
you know Chelsea have to dud for that as
The
well.
worst bit is here is
Chelsea have done
Diego
the dust for that.
Simeone asks you for those types of challenges for 2 years, and the moment you leave, you want to go and do that in your first game. Embarrassing.
No, Chelsea
Get out
deserve
here,
duds for
man.
that as well, because how you sign a player on loan for 11 million and don't put a stipulation that if he's injured or suspended, you don't have to pay it. That 3 game back, you know how much that costs?
Yeah, that's
1.2
crazy.
million.
That's insane.
Right.
Listen,
On that bombshell.
Man United
Hey,
fans,
hey,
you know
no.
what to put in the chat.
Nah, they'll be angry. We'll give
Palace
Arsenal
next.
champs as well. Arsenal
You know-
champs. They come to
Yeah.
North London, did their thing.
That's light though. Everyone does that.
Nah. They ain't done that since 2014, so don't
Listen.
try that. Yeah, don't try
Listen,
that.
man.
Shut up.
You
Yeah.
already know.
Hey, we're not gonna do no champs.
Put my
There is
champs
a-
right here.
There's another big champ who retired this week. We ain't doing that.
G-Biz!
Gareth Bale.
G-Biz!
Yeah,
I think that's standing ovation.
bro. That's yeah, man. We don't do that. 'Cause that's a real
Great
one,
memories.
man, yeah.
You've given
That's
us
a
so-
real one.
Listen, man.
That's
You've given us
a
so
real
many
one.
memories
You know what I'm
over the
saying?
years.
Listen, Master Hair, is this camera on me?
Listen,
Is this camera on me?
that's a legend.
Harry Kane. Harry Kane.
You see the vision.
Think.
You see the vision.
You saw what Bell did this last week. 33. I've done everything in the game. I can sit down with my trophies and my family. Think about your family.
Hey,
Harry.
listen.
Think about your family. Think about your
Hey,
family.
you ain't coming Chelsea, man.
I'm not Chelsea. Not Chelsea. Think about your family. No. Think about your family. Think about your family. Think about your legacy. Modric and them man are leaving with
It's
trophies.
sick, man.
What's he gonna do when he little Spurs DVD? Come
Listen,
on, man.
listen.
Think about your family.
It is what it is. But Gareth
Listen,
Bale,
man.
listen, man.
A real
Hold
one.
tight yourself, man.
For club and country.
Legendary.
One of the greatest British players we'll ever
real.
see. Evolution like no other. G-Biz,
That's a note to
my
bang
dog.
on.
That's a real chat.
That's a real one, man.
Legendary.
Bruv,
Listen.
people, man.
Like,
Appreciate
share,
it.
subscribe, notifications on. Hold to all of you
Everyone's
that were
been
here.
inside,
Listen,
man. We
we
had
appreciate it,
2,000
man.
inside here at one point.
Nuts.
Still got 1,003 in here. I think we've
man.
been going on for nearly 2 hours. You
Yeah,
know what I
man,
mean?
listen,
My
man.
bad.
Hey, it's been
Working
2
on
hours.
it.
It's been a long time.
stick, man.
I need some
Someone
more.
get on the timestamps, please.
Listen, man.
Road talks.
We'll be back. FTBL culture. When? What day?
FTBL culture dropping either. I think Tuesday. Let's say Tuesday. It's dropping Tuesday on Chelsea. It's a great one. You know what I mean? 4 things Chelsea need to do to come back to the top.
Oh, I like that.
Wow.
Peace.
Show the dance to the BGBs.
Pedri scored the third, by the way. Not